Reduce movement speed and meleeing needing 3 hits to kill. I am so glad I have Orion, because doing all the challenges would suck a lot more. F's in the chat for you guys who saved this for last, because you f***ed yourself hard. That
Dude, even hardcore is a 2-hit now. That's
really
insane.
Activision devs do not play their own game. It's not your dad. Your dad doesn't support you.
You should know. You worked at a coffee shop, you stupid bitch.
My name is Casey, and absolutely not fucking Tanner, because my parents don't hate me that much.
Hey, did they have just 8 patches lined up, but they just didn't release them because they were on break? No, you moron kids.
Then we'll, of course, get into it. Change your fucking name and get scammed. He's feeling under the weather.
I probably won't say another word until Stay Humble, so have a good pod, Raz. I'll be here listening.
Got it. Say what you want about this Razinon guy, but fuck if he doesn't have a thick, virile, luscious, masculine, full head of hair.
I'd rather you be bald, honestly.
Would you?
I think you'd look better bald.
I mean, my hair's a disaster, but the hair, it's the genetics. Look at that hair, dude. God, it's so luscious.
Yeah, it looks really bad right now. Actually terrible. When are you getting lined up?
Yeah, I need to get lined up. I want to keep it like longer on top though. Because, I mean, it's actually a crime.
Yeah, change up your style.
It's a crime to not show off these absolute locks, dude. Just locks.
You should get a cut like Gabe. Gabe has a great haircut.
Yeah, he does.
As everything he has is great. But
everything
he always
Gabe does.
He always has a great haircut. I love his hair.
He has like straighter hair than me though. I can't grow mine as long.
That's true. Yeah, you have dog shit curly hair.
It's curled up. Yeah. Welcome. We are live. Welcome to the Dropshot, a Call of Duty podcast, episode number. The number here says 288. I don't know if that's true.
That's true.
It is true.
True and based. Yep.
True, based. Welcome to the program. Today we are not talking about my hair, unfortunately. And there are more good things to say about my hair, which is not many, than the state of this video game, by the way, today. So welcome to the show. Today we are talking about Call of Duty. We've been gone for a week. So a couple interesting, fun, and exciting things happened this fine week. So first of all, last Saturday, we recorded an episode. Normally how this works is the early access for patrons goes up on Saturday afternoon, right when we're done recording, which did go up. And then Sunday, I take the fucking day off. I don't do shit. And then on Monday, I do all the editing and uploading and all that shit for the public episode. So the Saturday episode goes up publicly on Monday. Didn't this week, because my internet just stopped working on Sunday morning, actually. So we called Spectrum, got some guy out here, but he wasn't able to come out till Wednesday. Fixed it in 5 minutes, by the way. There was some, I guess an amplifier. Our amplifier was broken, so he went in our garage, fucking unscrewed the thing we have, screwed the new thing in, and now the internet's totally fine. Cool. I didn't even know there were amps for internet. That was interesting, but whatever. It got fixed. But anyway, that meant I couldn't upload the podcast until Thursday. I could have done it Wednesday, but I had a lot of shit to do. I went to the orthodontist. That fucking guy to wake up at fucking 3 a.m. for him. Sick appointment. So all of that. Anyway, sorry that the podcast was up late, but that's why. And then in addition to that, Tanner was in Zion for a couple days, starting on Wednesday until yesterday you got back?
Great timing, yeah. No, I was gone trip? Tuesday, actually. Tuesday to Friday.
How'd that go? It
was good.
Yeah?
Relaxing.
Good.
Drank some wine. Went to a German holiday market lights festival. Over 2 million Christmas lights. Massive light display. So they had like a classic like German market, they call it, where it's just like they're selling shit. They had a beer garden. They had
bratwurst.
Yeah, all that type of food.
You like German food?
Never really had much of it other than like brats. So I don't know. And we didn't eat any because the lines were so long for the food. So we just ended up going to a restaurant. But I had, what's that hot wine called? Where they put like cinnamon sticks,
Sake?
Orange in it. It's warmed wine. Warm wine. What is that called, chat? I can't think of what it's called. That's what they called it in German. It was like Glühwein or something. Glühwein, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, they had that. That was good. I was double fisting. I had that in one fist.
Is
and
it
was
made
like,
with,
you know,
like,
fucking
grape?
40 degrees outside. It's basically hot sangria. I think that's the best way to put it. Yeah.
Okay.
Warmed up sangria. It's good.
That sounds decent.
A double fist, and I had that, and then the other fist I had hot chocolate, and I added a shot to that. And they used Fireball, which was interesting.
That
so
sounds
hot chocolate,
like it would be good.
Yeah, I don't like Fireball, but I was like, oh my god, this is great, actually. Cinnamon flavor, ooh, it was good. So I was just double fisting, walking around looking at Christmas lights, getting furious at all the little kids in my way, wanted to throw them off the path.
Did you get fucking hammered or what?
Not hammered, but I was there. They had a Krampus display. That pissed me off.
Oh no!
God, it pissed me off. Body? Yeah, it sent me into PTSD for sure.
I would have. Yeah, I would have taken that toy out. That thing.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I wanted to, man. Believe me.
I mean, one thing that many of you probably don't know about me is that I always keep that blicky on me. So if I saw Krampus, I would have fucking got it out. Yeah.
Yeah, he would have got that gat out. Yeah.
I would have caught a body and then caught amnesia for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
As we say.
Went wine tasting a couple times.
In the hoods of San Dimas. Yeah.
Brought home 6 bottles of wine.
Jesus, that's a lot.
Big red fan now. I used to like whites up until like a year ago. I actually despise whites now. Man. I don't even want to take a sip of it anymore. Yeah, I've outgrown them. Big red guy. Any red, I like them. They would explain what they are. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying. I don't care. I like the reds. Just keep giving them to me, man.
That's cool.
All I want. Yeah, pretty cool.
So yeah, next time you guys are in Zion, they have a German festival, I guess.
Surely.
Christmas. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, sorry about that. And then also on Monday, Tanner and I meet every Monday virtually meet and figure out what we're doing for the week, but I couldn't really. I could have called on the phone, but I have so much packing shit to do anyway. I was like, I don't care. I'm just gonna like keep packing.
I had a great Monday without you, actually. That's when I finished Orion. I have Orion, by the way.
Oh, nice.
I finished it on Monday only because we didn't meet. I wouldn't have gotten it before my trip. I still wouldn't have it right now, actually, if you weren't gone. So thanks. I'm glad I was able to knock your internet out. Keep you offline. Worked out great for me.
Don't change my amp. Don't sabotage my amplifier, man. How did it feel to get Orion?
Yeah. Underwhelming.
Yeah, I had the same feeling.
I was telling you this. I don't understand. I think I was telling you. It's just like, I unlocked it and I didn't care. It was weird. Like when I got Damascus and MW19, I was like, yes, let's fucking go, baby, got Damascus. And I think it is so much because like, you barely get a notification that you unlock it. I don't know. It just...
I think, honestly,
and Polly literally looks better than Orion in game, so that also pisses me off. They need to make Orion brighter. Something needs to change. It does not look good in game. It looks way better like when you're looking at the camo selection screen.
But
it just it's so dull, and like if you go inside buildings in Warzone and shit, you can't even tell you have Orion on. The gun's so dark. Polly just always looks good in all lighting. And Orion, you have to be in sunlight for it to look good. So it pisses me off, actually. I wish I didn't unlock it.
Well.
And then some kid, actually, I was loading into a game of Shipment yesterday, got home using Orion. And these guys on my team, I'm not kidding. He's like, holy shit, this guy has Orion. What a fucking virgin. What a loser. Get a job. You're a fucking pussy. And he was like genuinely pissed that I had it. I'm like, dude,
actually.
What is, like, why are you so mad? And then his buddy was like, put that on your showcase operator so I can copy it and get Orion on my gun because that bug was in the game. It was fixed at that point. But
that's interesting.
It's a bug for 2 or 3 days. So yeah, I've been absolutely cyberbullied, berated. It kind of sucks, actually. So I think I'm just going to stop using the camo. It's
That's
not very
funny
fun.
that you had that interaction.
Oh, he got so mad at me. I'm like, what is wrong with? I'm like, the game's been out for well over a month now.
Yeah.
Like what?
We got it pretty fast, to be clear. Well, excuse me, I got it pretty fast. You, I guess, maybe did.
I feel like I took forever. Yeah. I have Orion, by the way.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Fuck me. Oh yeah, I think Damascus was, because I was way more excited when I unlocked Damascus too. I remember the map I was on. It was on Euphrates Bridge, and I had to do a launcher last, and it was to kill. Oof. It was the ground streak one where counter UAVs counted, so it was taking a while, And then someone called a counter UAV. I got super excited, busted out that thing, shot it down. I knew it was my last one. And then it said Damascus unlocked 500 times because it tells you that for every single gun.
Exactly.
Which is kind of dumb. And that was fun. But it was also kind of fun, yeah. And I was like, let's go.
It would tell you for every category, yeah.
Yeah. Which was
I think this one, cool. It was less hype too, because like you're going back and using the same gun so many times. Yeah, it's like you have to do the base camos, then the gold. Then you can either go back or do all the long shots as you, it's just like, I think that's the other thing is you feel like you're done with a gun and then you're really not. You have to just continually go back to it, and it kind of kills like the hype. I don't know. Yeah, you like get it gold, and then you have to go back and get it platinum, and then you have to go back again and get it poly. It is kind of goofy. I think the main reason, though, honestly, for how much less excited I was is because, frankly, it was way easier getting Orion than Damascus. Like, getting Damascus was like a real fucking pain in the ass chore. So when you got that, you were like, finally, I'm done with all the horrific challenges. And with Orion, it's like there were some that were annoying and bad, but not nearly on the scale of MDub. Yeah.
I think that was part of it too. But
yeah, could be. I have Orion.
Either way, congrats finally on having Orion. So yeah, anyway, on Monday we were going to meet. I was going to maybe do an episode on Thursday in Tanner's absence, but I didn't have internet until Wednesday and I just didn't care.
Lazy.
I didn't feel like, because I wasn't sure, like the internet tech came out on Wednesday, but I wasn't sure that was going to fix the problem. Who knows? Listen, I've had Spectrum for 20 years. There have been times where they come out and don't fix the problem. So I didn't want to like schedule. I said, I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So we didn't do anything on Thursday. Sorry about that. I think that's going to be the only episode we miss this month, though. Because we're doing today. We're doing next week, Thursday. We have a pre-record going up on Saturday. So yeah, that should be the only episode we're missing for this month.
Maybe, maybe the 31st too. That's going to be like right when you're moving.
Yeah, maybe then also.
We may have to pre-record something else then.
Yeah.
Or release a Patreon. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. But sorry about that, guys. We are back. It's still going to be kind of fucking cattywampus for the rest of December, yeah. But once I'm moved, hopefully everything goes back to normal. On the topic of the Patreon, we have a couple Patreon episodes we still need to do. And there's a lot of content we can do. So we still need to do behind the scenes. We'll probably do that one fairly soon. And then, yeah, we have 3 other gold episodes in the chamber.
Yeah, I think we have them all figured out. We know what we're going to do. We just have to record them.
Yeah, so I think the next Patreon episode we're going to record it tomorrow, Sunday. And it will be Season 1 Reloaded First Impressions. So I've played. I'll get into that more. But yeah, we'll have that up soon. We will be doing all the Patreon eps for this month, despite our difficulties. Another announcement, there are now, with Season 1 Reloaded, groups, clans, guilds. I think they're called groups in this game, which is not a good name. Really not a good name for what they are. I think something like a regiment. That name made a lot more sense. Group sounds too similar to just being in a party. Yeah, it does. It should be regiment. In fact, party would make more sense for what a group currently is. And then group would make more sense for what a party currently is. Yeah, you know? Actually. Yeah. They don't call it the Republican group and the Democratic group. You know? So anyway, whatever. Yeah. Nonetheless, there is a Dropshot group, party, clan, regiment, guild now. It is public. It's open to anyone who wants to join it. I don't know how you find it, but it's public and it's called Dropshot Podcast. So if you want to join the social tab, groups, you can search for groups, search for Dropshot Podcasts. It'll come up and then you just join it. There's a bit, I don't know if you get any other benefits currently, but there's like a constant text chat in there. You can go back and forth, look for people to play with, see who's on at the time. You might also be able to do a group clan tag. I don't know if I didn't check for that functionality. We'll get into it with the note. There wasn't. But yeah, I don't think there is. But yeah, if you guys want to join the group, it would be wise to join, particularly for our patrons, for when we do like multiplayer or Warzone customs as well, because then I can just look through our group roster and invite people that way, or Tanner can. So if you want to join the Dropshot podcast group or just meet some other people, because yeah, there is like a text chat, so you can just log in, go to the group chat and be like, hey, anyone on? Anyone want to fucking, I don't know, kill trade or whatever? So that's up. You guys can join. And then last but certainly not least, we got our first and probably only Christmas present this year from the old dying bitch himself, Benjamin G, Grumpy Monk, friend of the pod, longtime listener, Discord moderator.
Wow.
Go to Discord moderator.
I think he tells people in IRL he's a Discord mod.
I think he has customized his Dropshot merch and just added the word moderator on the back, yeah, like he's a referee, like where it would say like official or something. I think he's added moderator.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because he takes that job very seriously, as he should, more than his whatever his profession is, making spreadsheets or whatever. Has sent us a Christmas present. 50 United States dollars went directly into my PayPal, and he said, hey, didn't want to send it to the company PayPal, so I'm sending it to you personally instead, so you don't have to split it or whatever. And then he also sent $50 to Tanner personally.
Yes. And
what I found interesting about that is he could have just sent $100 to the company one, and we each would have gotten 50, and it would have been a lot easier. So that was
maybe
fun
you would have
and
stolen
exciting.
it.
But
I may have only gotten $3 out of that, actually, if he had done it that way. You get the 97, I get the 3.
That's not true. Not for donos, man. We split those evenly. You have to believe me. Regardless, Ben, thank you very, very much, dude, for the 50 absolute bones to me. Very much appreciate it. Very kind of you. Very supportive. A nice little message attached, which I appreciated. And I could use it. Send, like, you know, help with the move a little bit, which it does. So really kind, very generous. Didn't need to do that, buddy, but I really appreciate it. So thank you very much for that, dude. You're a king.
Thank you, Ben. Appreciate it, bud.
And then as far as like new patrons, other donos, if we got them, which I don't think we did, etc., I'm going to thank everyone else. I'm going to go through that next week. So if you join the Patreon, you're mad I didn't say your name, relax. I will next week. So there you go. Other than that, for announcements, I think that's it, buddy.
Yeah.
All right. If you're listening for the jingle, here it is. Like the stream now on YouTube. You're live. Welcome, pigs, to the program. Today, we're talking about Call of Duty. Obviously, so here's how we're doing this episode. Normally on Saturdays, we do, we don't cover patch notes or news. We have like original ideas, or just do like first impressions, things like that. Today, we are not doing that. We're going to treat this largely like a Thursday episode where we're going to cover Season 1 Reloaded, patch notes, news, upcoming changes, things like that, since we didn't do one on Thursday. And also because even if we didn't want to do that today, we wouldn't really have anything to say yet for a Saturday episode. I did play Season 1 Reloaded multiplayer quite a bit. I probably played for like 3 hours so far. I got the Chimera max level. I was going to get it Orion, but I would have had to have done all the challenges, including long shots, which I refused to do. So I'll never have another gun Orion again, I guess, which is kind of annoying, but I'm not doing 25 long shots ever again though. Yeah.
I got mine gold this morning, then I went to hardcore to try to do long shots. I played an entire game of Crown Raceway. I did not get a single long shot.
You didn't get one on Crown?
No, because whole lobby, everyone was trying to do long shots, and a couple rats kept throwing smokes, and they were obviously using thermals because the whole lane would be smoked, and I'd get shot right through it every time. And there's no kill cam, so I don't know what they were doing. But
why did you get thermed up?
They're either cheating or using I don't know. I didn't want to change all my shit for that. I didn't care that much.
Yeah.
So I played the game out and got 0. I ended up getting more kills than my pistol. Actually, it was fun.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah,
that'll happen. So I'll never get it around. But anyway, I did play a bit of multiplayer. Haven't played Warzone yet though. So even again, as I was saying, if we wanted to do a Saturday type episode, normally we would probably be doing Season 1 Reloaded First Impressions today, but we're not. We might do that on Patreon, or we'll do other things on Patreon. I'm not sure yet. We'll figure that out. We'll let you guys know. I think that's what I said, but whatever. But the first impressions of everyone else are not good, so we're probably going to be sharing that sentiment once we play more.
It started rough and it got better after a couple days. I think we'll get into it. I don't know if it'll be during this episode, but we'll eventually
get into it eventually. Yeah, maybe. I think partially today. But what was I gonna say? I forget. I don't know what I was gonna say. We'll talk more about particular things that we do have impressions of, insofar as we do, as we go through the notes. So here is callofduty.com/blog. MW2 Warzone 2 Season 1 Reloaded. Everything you need to know. So I don't know if this constitutes patch notes.
There's a separate patch notes blog that we're going to go through after this. That's just the patch notes. I think this was released before the update.
Okay. Yeah, it was December 9th. This is a long time ago.
But we still haven't covered it. No, because it was on a Friday.
Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. So we're going to go through this blog post rather briefly. This was the pre-release Season 1 Reloaded. And even the patch notes we're not going to get too fucking crazy about. But we'll get into it. So here we go. Overview. They're talking about the raid, Atomgrad, the first Spec Ops raid. And then shipment is coming. Are we going to talk more about the raids in the patch notes, Tanner, or should we talk about this now?
No, I don't think the patch note has any of that.
Okay. So
the patch notes is literally just patch notes pretty much. Oh, they say a little bit about the raid, not much.
So yeah, they've released raids now, which is an offshoot of Spec Ops, I guess. And their description is: grab 2 of your best squad mates and help Price, Farah, and Gaz uncover the secrets held within a highly fortified enemy facility. I know very little about this, and I don't really care. They say more here, actually, so let's get into this. Continuing from the MW2 campaign, the first raid is something that will take violence and timing. Those who successfully complete this raid will unlock a familiar face as a brand new operator to use in multiplayer in Spec Ops and Warzone. Who is that operator?
Gaz.
Okay. We'll also unlock a harder difficulty playlist that will test even vet operators. You can expect to find plenty of intel that awards additional cosmetic items. I wonder what those mean. In addition to some intriguing data it provides about the MW2 universe. So lore nerds
There's
are
like
gonna
7
like
different items you could get.
Are any of the cosmetics good? Like there are blueprints?
No. One of the blueprints is like a shotgun with no attachments on it.
Sick.
Yeah, so it's awful.
Yeah. So I am obviously, as if you guys couldn't tell, I know very little about this raid, and I don't care to. Again, as we had talked about, maybe on Patreon, maybe not. I think a little bit publicly as well. The Spec Ops game mode in this game, which I've had the unfortunate displeasure of having played, was the least fun I've ever had in a Call of Duty game, and I'm not kidding when I say that. I think it's literally the worst game mode that I've ever played in my entire life in Call of Duty. So this includes like Black Ops 1 zombies and all the other trash. It includes Vanguard zombies. I'm not kidding. Pre-round based zombies.
Yeah, it was pretty shit.
It was really bad. It was startlingly boring. So the fact that raids are an offshoot or an extension of Spec Ops, they're even called Spec Ops raids, in fact, means I am terribly uninterested in them. I think eventually we will probably do one to just see what's going on, but the rewards are probably not worth it. The gameplay itself is probably not very fun. And if it is, it's fun kind of once. So don't expect us to
I think they do a bad way of describing it, though, because this is more an extension of the campaign than Spec Ops, because this has a storyline and dialogue. Spec Ops is just you load in and go here and do these things. This is like continuing the storyline. So this is literally just playing the campaign, but it's a new mission and you play with 2 other people. So it's infinitely better than the regular Spec Ops missions that we played, for sure.
I guess if you can play with 3 instead of 2 people, that's good.
Oh, you can literally only play with 3. And Smile, guess what? You cannot search for party members. You literally have to have a group of 3 to queue. That's all you could do. You cannot play solo. You cannot play with 2. You cannot search for players. That's what I saw, at least. That's what I heard. I haven't tried playing this myself. But it has to be a group of 3.
Interesting.
Sweet.
Yeah. Sick devs. So
not very inclusive for people who don't have friends but want to play a campaign mission.
Yeah, so if you guys don't have friends, which many of you don't, again, join the Dropshot podcast group in-game. It's public. Search for it, join it, and then type in group chat, anyone want to do a Spec Ops raid with me? I need 2 more. And then I'm going to laugh at you, spit on you virtually, and then maybe you'll find some other desperate, lonely, friendless, fundamentally unlikable people to get together with you to play this game mode. So there's some utility, but that's not surprising to me. Again, maybe we'll play this, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. Shipment's coming. We'll talk more about shipment. Holiday shipment.
Did you say how to play the raid? Did you get to that part yet? Because you can't just play it.
Sure didn't. No.
Okay, so accessing a raid requires a raid assignment, which can be earned through the following methods. Complete a specific daily challenge in multiplayer or Spec Ops. Don't know what that is. Haven't seen it. Place in the top 20 in any Warzone 2 Battle Royale playlist. That's easiest for us. I don't know how easy that really is for a casual Warzone player to place top 20. Not sure. 20. Or in DMZ, use the final extract helicopter with at least 30,000 cash, and you will get a raid assignment. So you can't just load up and play the raid because you want to. You have to finish one of those things in order to get the assignment in order to play the raid, which is weird, but they just want more people playing their game. They want more players, more concurrent player count numbers. So they do it that way, of course, you know.
I am curious what place within the top 20 means, because does that mean the top 20 teams or individuals?
Top 20 teams in any playlist. So if you play solos, top 20. If you play quads, top 20. So quads would be the easiest.
Quads would be super easy to get top 20 in then. Because the other, I mean, by the time everyone's done crashing, what it means. You can just kill yourself and you'll be 18th place. Yeah, I'm not sure because it's so much easier to get top 20 in quads. It like top 20 teams, like you're competing against what? How many people are in BR? 150?
150, yep.
Yeah. 150 over 4. That's a number. Like 35. Yep. So you have to be.
It's a number for sure.
You don't even have to be in the top 50% of teams to get top 20 on teams. So maybe that's easiest. Probably the daily challenge is going to be easiest, though. I don't know. I don't know what this was a thing.
It's probably that thing where you have to. I know. It's probably that thing where you have to complete like 3 daily challenges, and it gives you a bonus or 2, and you also have to complete those, and that gives you a raid assignment.
Yeah. So, I wouldn't and won't do this until I need to. But there you go.
You also only need one person to do it, and then you can join off them.
Oh, okay, that's better.
For up to 7 days, you can use their thing.
Wait, look at this. Once a raid assignment is earned, that player, and whatever squad mates they choose to bring in, can access the raid for a full week. So you don't unlock it forever?
I guess not. You have to continue to do that. I don't know. Yeah, which is weird because how will that look 2 months from now? Will it be the same thing, or will it just be like fully unlocked? You know, it's a little weird. It's a little weird when you think about the long-term part of that.
Yep. It makes very little sense to me.
Again, they just want to boost the player count, so they want you to play the game, any of their game modes, in order to have access to this.
Yeah, so that's cool, I guess. Anyway, moving on. Shipments coming. We'll talk more about that, I think, once we get to the patch notes. Should we save this stuff for patch notes? I'm going to look at the patch notes.
I'm looking through the patch notes real quick. No, it really doesn't talk about any of this. It just says shipment was added, basically.
Here. Okay. So yeah, shipment to arrive in multiplayer. So first they talk about holiday shipments going to be coming. It's not in yet, or at least it wasn't yesterday. But they did add shipment to multiplayer, and I played a lot of this. I'm a shipment stan. I'm a shipment lover. And yesterday I, downloaded the update. I unlocked the Chimera. So by the way, the way to unlock the Chimera, which we might get into later, but I'll just say it now. I think there are probably multiple ways, but one of them is to get 2 kills in 15 different multiplayer matches. And you can leave. So I unlocked this in 20, 30 minutes. You queue for shipment. You get 2 kills with an AR in the match. As soon as you get 2, you leave the game, join another one of shipment, get 2 kills, repeat 15 times.
You spend more time queuing than getting the kills.
Far more time queuing. Yeah. So they brought this dumb fucking system back, and I don't understand why. Luckily, you can leave and it'll still count, because that's been the case sometimes, but not always. So it's not going to take you 3 hours, which if you had to complete the matches, it would. Why do they do this, though, is the question. Because all this does, it's not fun getting 2 kills and then backing out 15 times, first of all. That's not fun. It's really annoying. And you're just staring at loading screens for half an hour while you're doing this. Not fun at all. Also, you're ruining that lobby. And since everyone else is doing it, everyone's constantly fucking backing out and backfilling into lobbies for the first, 4 days of the update, because they just want to unlock the AR real quick. Like, you're incentivizing people to do this method by having this really stupid challenge. And I don't know why they do this. Why not make the challenge, get 30 operator kills with an assault rifle, and then you can use Chimera? Why do they have to make it 2 and 15 separate matches? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any... The only sense it would make is if it required you to complete the match, so then they could force you to stay online for 3 hours so it looks good for their analytics for their next shareholder meeting.
And I wonder if they'll change it to that.
That's probably what they intended, but because Activision devs are incompetent, they can't code it in that way, and it'll still count if you back out. That's my guess. But also, don't make people play for 3 hours to unlock your gun. So whether it was working as intended or not, bad decision. But nonetheless, that's how you can unlock the Chimera. Doesn't take long. So I unlocked it, and then I was like, okay, cool, I can actually play the fucking game now. Smile. Use the Chimera, which is the honey badger from video games of the past. That's what the gun is. Does this have a real life counterpart? I think I've asked you this before. Do you know?
I don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, it's an assault rifle. It has an integrated suppressor, low bullet velocity. If you get a kill, the enemy death skull does not show up for the enemy's teammates, which is a feature. Doesn't matter in shipment, but I mean, it's not bad. It's better than it showing up, but it's not like the only reason you use the gun. So I got that sucker max level, but before we talk more about that, let's talk about shipment. It's nighttime, but it's well lit, relatively. It's raining. You can't climb on top of any boxes. There is still a C-can you can get into at mid, which has been the case for every shipment I've ever played in any game. So that's fine. And then you can't shoot from spawn to spawn, which is good. my overall impression of Shipment is it is very true to the original Shipment. It feels very similar. Only difference being you can't climb on top of the boxes, which I'm fine with, because that was kind of... It was a dumb thing to do when you could, because you would like get a free kill and then you are the free kill also. So it's just kind of stupid that you could. So I'm fine with that being taken out. Not being able to shoot from spawn to spawn, unlike MDub 2019, was a great decision. I don't know why you could do that in MDub 2019, but I'm glad they figured that the fuck out. Play tested, by the way. Play tested, by the way. And other than that, it is Shipment. It is very much Shipment. Is it ruined by flash grenades and tear gas, as I suspected, since Battle Hardened doesn't do enough? Of course it is, yes. There are some matches where, interestingly, people, for my couple hours I played yesterday, people were abusing tear gas a lot more than flashes, which surprised me. But I'd rather get tear gas spammed than flash grenade spammed, for sure. There was one game where like 3 people on the other team were flashing and I left because it wasn't playable. Actually not playable. Because that's the thing too. If I'm running flash grenades on Shipment, I'm going to spawn, throw one, die in 30 seconds. If I'm the best player in the lobby, it'll be 30 seconds. If I'm average, it'll be 10 because it's Shipment. And then I'm going to spawn with another flash and throw that bitch again. So it's just a complete disaster. And luckily, more people were abusing tear gas grenades, which are annoying, but if you're running Battle Hardened, it's actually pretty good against tear gas. You can still ADS and like reload. You do slow down. You can't like tack sprint through it, even with Battle Hardened. But you can still do most things, which is fine. So it's been less ruined by flashes than I suspected. But other than that, it is very much like normal ass Shipment to me. Tanner was saying the visibility isn't good. I did not have that problem, surprisingly. I'm usually the guy that has the problem. But tell me, what are your impressions of Shipment?
One, why are we making night maps? Just stop. It doesn't need to be at night. I mean, just put it during the day on a ship, whatever. I don't like Shipment. I never will, never have. It's not a good map. It's not a fun map. It's good for one thing, and that's leveling weapons as quickly as possible and literally nothing else. So I noticed there's a lot more head glitches than usual. Like the boxes and all the corners seem to be a little bit higher than normal. So when you're trying to shoot someone from a certain angle where usually you'd have an easy kill on them, all you see is their head half the time, which is very difficult to see when their head's bobbing back and forth. It's dark out. A couple of the corners are very well lit, and then a couple just like have no light, so that corner's dark. It's very weird. So like those ones, it's harder looking into it. All you see is their red diamond, and you barely even see their head at all, and then you have to try to shoot that head. So I feel like the head glitches are pretty nasty. Everything else is just ruined by the game. I was telling Raz this before we went live. Shipment plays horrible on this game because you can't move. Like in MDub 19, you can slide and shoot at the same time. And the fact that you can't do this in this game makes for a very boring experience. You can't slide, or you're just dead pretty much every single time. So it's very boring. You kind of just spawn in, run a few steps, start shooting someone, die, throw a flashbang. It's ruined by tear gas. It's ruined by people running riot shields on their backs, of course, as usual. So I think more than anything, it's ruined by the type of game this is, not by the actual map. But again, I don't like Shipment and never will, so that's pretty much my overall thoughts on it.
One thing I will agree with you on, though, is the head glitches do seem better. Better in the sense that they're more powerful than they were in MDub 19 in the spawns behind like the boxes or forklifts or whatever. They do seem taller. They do seem nastier in this game. I don't know if they actually are, but yeah, they seem really, really good. Too good, frankly.
Yeah.
I wish they were a bit lower. But other than that, yeah, it's just Shipment. And all the problems with it are the game's fault. Like, yeah, tear gas, flash grenades,
riot shields, shotguns. It's the game, not the map, mostly.
Shotguns, no, I was getting absolutely farmed by some guy, actually. Yeah, using a shotgun. Real good. But yeah, that's, whatever. But overall, it's pretty true to Shipment. I'm happy with it. And so it couldn't be much better in this game to me. I think those head glitches could be better. I think it could be daytime. But besides that, it's fine. I don't miss being able to climb on top of the boxes. I never did it because it was stupid to do. Like, you could do that in MW 2019. You'll surprise someone and get a free kill, but you're also going to die, like, immediately. You're just so dead. So
yeah.
Anyway, they're going to be doing holiday shipment. I don't care.
That starts the 21st, I think.
Cool. And then Warzone 2 overview. Building 21. Find a way into this restricted, redacted, and redacted. So they wrote this under Warzone 2. Is there a new feature in... So I have not played Warzone since... I'm going to play today, but I haven't played Warzone since the update. Is there a new building in Warzone, or is this just for DMZ?
They just put this in the wrong category. Or maybe you can get there through Warzone, but no one knows how to do it. It's also weird, like it's not actually in the game yet. We'll get into it later in the news part.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think there's anything like this in Warzone. I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay. And then there's also Warzone Cup Mini Royale available for a limited time.
Play Rocket League instead. It's a lot better, surely.
Oh, okay. So Mini Royale is added. So that's...
Yeah, Mini Royale's in.
Cool.
I haven't heard anything about that at all. We should actually try that, because that may be kind of fun.
Maybe faster paced, for sure.
Maybe, yeah.
The problem in MW 19 with Mini Royale is it was too fast paced. But in this game,
how loadouts work.
It might play perfectly.
Yeah.
With how slow the mid game is. But anyway. New area in DMZ, Building 21. So I don't know. I just don't.
It's some other area. They're being very weird about it right now. It's not even necessarily accessible yet. In fact, it's not accessible.
Looks like labs a lot.
They're not going to tell us when. It's basically high tier AI is there with better loot and shit. But again, the loot doesn't matter because you can go. Well, it'll probably have weapon blueprints that you can keep. But I was like, the loot doesn't matter because it's just all cash anyways. Just loot all Mazra. You don't need an area like this. You know, it's just stupid.
I agree.
Like, yes, everyone keeps comparing this to like, oh, this is like DMZ's version of Labs and Tarkov. It's like, okay. Yeah, but it's like Labs has actual good loot and different things that you go there for. This is just another area with slightly harder AI. I don't know. It's just weird. Again, DMZ, there's no reason to play it, in my opinion. I don't understand it at all. That's exactly
where I'm at.
And I will not for a long time.
If there is a reason to go here for us, it would be to unlock a very cool looking blueprint.
Yeah.
But
that would be worth it. And it probably will have something like that.
Yeah. So that would be cool. But we'll see. Moving on here. LTM, yeah, Mini Royale. Oh, and Warzone Cup. So here's Rocket League or whatever. Is this in yet?
Yes, it's in right now.
Yeah, I haven't seen or heard anything about this. Looks cute and fun. I have nothing to add. I don't know. I don't care.
Play Rocket League.
Yeah, go play Rocket League. That would be my,
I heard, at least when they first dropped it, everyone playing it, it's dev erroring. Like, no one could finish a match of Warzone Cup. They dev error every single time. Crazy.
I wonder if you get weapon XP from this for you camo grinders that are still grinding. I have
there's not even like a gun equipped or anything. You're just on an ATV. Okay. No.
Yeah. Well, then never mind. So anyway, that's in. I don't care. So there you go. General overview.
It's things like that I would just genuinely love to know how much time was spent on a mode like that. True. While the rest of the game is in the state that it is
Unplayable.
Because if they spent like literally weeks, months working on this, a group of people, that pisses me the fuck off. Stop making shitty modes for a week and actually make the game playable. Let's do that instead, right?
Yeah, crazy and that's the idea. Thing that everyone, like, not everyone, but some people who, and we don't get this criticism very much anymore. I think people are catching on to the fact that we've been right for 2 years. But people used to very often say, oh, you guys are so negative. All you do is complain. Why do you complain all the time? Oh, who cares that they added Rocket League to Call of Duty? It's a fun, cute game mode.
Just don't play it.
You don't have to just don't play it. Yeah. Well, again, like Tanner just said, I would have no problem if they added this. I would, in fact, think it's quite cool if the game worked, though. Like if the core game worked, though. But when it doesn't, well, now we have other things higher on the priority list, right?
Yes.
That's the problem.
And also they specifically stated last year, I think it was Raven that said it. It was probably actually earlier this year, technically. They said, we're not adding new content until the game is in a better state. And what did they do? They literally released new content a week and a half later.
They were lying, by the
2 weeks later. It's like, of course they are. You're not going to push back or stop doing reloaded updates and adding content. Like, what? You're just literally lying. And so they've literally said shit like that, and they don't follow through.
Yeah. Yeah, and we told you guys immediately. I remember reading that exact line a couple weeks ago, and I immediately said, that's not true. They're going to do it again. They've said this before, and they just didn't mean it, and they still don't. Yeah. Was one thing I was going to say. I was just going to make an analogy. Yeah, like, imagine you text your fucking brother. And your brother's like, hey, I'm going to bring home dinner. And you're like, all right, dope. I'm planning on eating dinner, the food you bring home for me. And he's like, okay, cool. I'm going to buy you dinner and I'm going to bring it home to you. So you plan on not making your own food or ordering a pizza because your brother's bringing you dinner, right? And then your brother comes home, you're fucking starving, and you're excited to eat. And he has a box of like C's chocolates, like C's candy. And you're like, okay, that's cool. And I like C's candy. It's like delicious. I'm kind of glad you got it. But also, where's the dinner part?
Where's the fucking pie, man?
Where's the actual pie? Where's the grease wheel? Where's the pizza pie? And then he says, oh, I really wanted chocolate. So instead of dinner, I got only the box of chocolates. The problem isn't the box of chocolates he brought home. The problem is we need dinner more than chocolates. So you could bring both. That's great. Or you can bring just dinner, but don't bring me just chocolates. That's not dinner. That's
pretty good analogy.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad
makes sense, actually. Yeah,
that's exactly what Rocket League and Call of Duty and on December 17th is. Yeah, it's a box of chocolates without the dinner, and that's the problem. It's the opportunity cost. Yeah. So anyway, there's Rocket League now. Fucking awesome. So here's a cool operator skin. This operator skin actually does look fucking dope. I actually am a big fan of it.
Nick Jean. Nikita should actually sue them. Yeah. They literally just took his face and beard and copied him. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think he has a lawsuit there.
Wait, so Klaus is set to bolster the operator roster. So there's like a new operator named Klaus?
That's him, yep. That's Klaus.
This is Klaus. I thought this was a skin for an existing operator, but this is a new operator.
Yes, I believe so.
Unless there's always been a Klaus operator in game.
I've changed my operator like twice. I've barely looked through them so far, so I don't know.
Yeah. So the new Chimera weapon. So yeah, I guess we'll talk about that a little bit. So yeah, the new AR, we talked about it a little bit already. It has 18 levels. You unlock it, 2 kills, 15 matches. 2 AR kills in 15 separate matches. Integrated suppressor. Low velocity. No death skulls or whatever. I was using it on shipment, and it's pretty good. It seems to me like it's not going to be meta or very good for multiplayer. It's certainly not going to be good in Warzone. It might be good in Warzone as like a sniper support gun, but that wouldn't be until they did other weapon balancing. Because I actually think if I was sniping in Warzone, I would literally just run the pistols still. Like akimbo pistols. Did those get nerfed? I guess we're gonna get into that. But
they got nerfed pretty hard. But yeah, we haven't played Warzone yet, guys. We're not gonna play till after the pod. Again, I got home last night and all I did was unlock and max level a new gun on shipment. That's all I've done.
Yeah. So maybe this would be good as a sniper support weapon, but based on my experience using it in multiplayer, I could probably just build a better sniper support AR. Like, what's the very first AR in the list that the game came out with? Like the
CM4.
545. No, oh, okay. Well, then I'm thinking of something else. The Kastov 545.
Sure, the 74U is probably the best one because that's a SMG in the AR category, basically.
Yeah, maybe it's that one. I feel like that is just better for like a sniper support in Warzone.
Yeah,
because it kind of occupies the same space that the Chimera wants to, which is like the AR SMG hybrid. The advantage the Chimera would have for Warzone is that it has an integrated suppressor, so you get a free slot, which might be relevant. I would have to be sniping more to like definitively say that, but it's possible this would be good. It's not obvious that this would be good though.
So it's just the default barrel has an integrated suppressor then? Is that what it is?
I think
because I know you can put a suppressor on it, but I changed the barrel. That must be why.
That's correct. So the default barrel has the integrated suppressor. I think there are 3 barrel attachments. I think some of those barrel attachments also have integrated suppressors, but maybe none of them do.
I'm opening up the game to look because the whole time I was playing and unlocking it, I was muted playing shipment, not paying attention to anything. I was just trying to max it out.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm trying to see here.
But anyway, in multiplayer, it felt good. It felt fun. It didn't feel great, but it didn't feel terrible either. It was a pretty standard gun. But again, if I'm going to use a gun like this, I'm using the 74U instead. It wasn't a real standout in any way. And I think the reason they did that is because since it hides the death markers or whatever, they don't want to have a gun that has that pro and then also be as competitive in terms of damage range or sprint out time or multipliers, etc., as like a 74U. So the way they balance around that is just making it not quite as good as a 74U. And the only additional benefit you get from the Chimera is the no death skull thing, which doesn't really matter very much in multiplayer. So I think it's okay. I don't think it's great. But it's not terrible. It's
so default
workable.
Barrel has a built-in suppressor. No other barrel has one, so then you can put a suppressor on it and get better damage range and velocity that way. The gun also does not have high velocity rounds. As an assault rifle, it does not have those.
Oh, that's not good for Warzone then,
Yeah, that would never be a good long-range option then ever at that point. Yeah, it felt... So I put the long barrel on it and a suppressor, and it still feel like the travel time shooting people cross map. When I played like one game of Santa Senyo and I was trying to get my 3 kills without dying because that's literally impossible on shipment. And I was shooting people cross map. It would still take time for the bullet to get there. It was weird.
Yep.
And I had the highest possible velocity that the gun can have, and it felt like shit in 6s because of that. I'm with you though. It feels middle of the road. It feels cool and good as like a fast pace, close range AR option. I like it for that. Low recoil. Feels way more similar to an SMG with a little bit better range, I think is the best way to describe it. It's an SMG with a little bit higher velocity, a little bit better range, but not... I don't know. It feels... it's whatever. Low recoil too. Good mobility.
One thing
it feels like a worse version of the 74U, I think.
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly
like what you're talking
that's
about.
kind of where I'm at. It does feel unique though. Like it has an identity, which is nice. I like that. And that's one of the few things Infinity Ward does well, is they make guns with their own identity. Unlike Vanguard, for example. Every AR in Vanguard feels like the same gun. But in this game, they do feel like fairly different. Chimera feels unique, which is good. But yeah, even on shipment, I was noticing the velocity. I'd be like, these shots should definitely be regging, and they're not. Like, really shit velocity. So, yeah. Anyway, there you go.
It was fun to use, though, in multiplayer.
Yeah, it was fun, though. It was cool. It's not bad. Oh, yeah, so it is a new operator. Klaus Fisker, his name. Looks like a badass. These skins for him, this operator, this, like, weapon blueprint's fucking dope, dude. Looks good.
Oh, he has natural night vision. Wow. Some
say his scotopic vision, I've never heard that word before. his natural night vision.
Yeah, we gotta look that. We gotta check that. Is that a real word?
Yeah, we're gonna do a little search Google for this.
Relating to or denoting vision in dim light, believed to involve chiefly the rods of the retina.
Interesting. Yeah, chiefly, like primarily.
Yeah. Okay.
Interesting. Scotopic vision.
Scotopic.
Good for
him.
Vision. Yeah. So I don't think that's a real thing people have, but cool. Anyway, he looks dope though. So there you go. So here's the Chimera.
His legacy was cemented on one night on the Urzikstan border, where he carried a wounded comrade 18 miles to the nearest base, using lessons taught by his father. With an help of an unusual amount of chocolate that wounded soldier carried with him. That's funny.
That's among the
great.
less offensive operator backstories. It's only somewhat very unrealistic. The natural night vision, I don't know if that's real. I'm very curious to know if people actually have that. But also carrying some guy 18 miles. That's fucking far.
That's quite a walk.
To carry a grown-ass man
listen,
with your
for
own
us,
kit also, dude.
Dude, that is me carrying some dude from my house to Pasadena. And I know that because every time I get on the freeway, it says Pasadena 17 miles.
Yeah, that's far. Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah, he didn't do that.
Yeah,
that's walking to Pasadena, man.
That's pretty aggressive. Yeah, that guy better have had like a sprained ankle. That better have been the wound, because there's no way you're just carrying a 180-pound man.
It's funny.
Probably like a 40-pound man though, with all the shit.
They come up with some interesting stories here for
all the
sure.
Gear he has, yeah. So
Ted came up with that line.
Why 18
probably.
miles too? Say like 4 miles, because that's still crazy and it's like doable probably.
Well, he had chocolate.
I guess he had fucking the Liver King's chocolate to help him with the trek. I don't know what's going on there, but anyway. Moving on. So the new weapon, the Chimera, we talked about this. Bundles, don't care. Year of the Rabbit. It's like a Chinese thing, right?
I have not been impressed with the bundles so far. MW19 had good bundles, but maybe none of them were this early on. I've been expecting some bangers. There's been fucking nothing good in the store.
I've taken a couple peeks at the bundles. I'm with you. Underwhelmed.
Usually IDub has solid bundles, but not so far at least.
Yeah.
I still have just 26,000 COD points burning an absolute hole in my 1440p 27-inch 240 hertz refresh rate monitor every time I load up the game.
Yeah, that'll happen. So anyway, whatever. Next, they talk about groups. We've gone over this. It's dumb. Just join ours. Search Dropshot Podcast.
Yeah.
Combat record update.
Oh boy.
So they claimed they were going to add a combat record, but they didn't yet. So we'll get more into that. But one thing to note, which will remain true, the stats present in the Warzone 2 combat record, whenever it comes out, which is not yet, will only be from the activation date forward and will not include stats from Season 1 launch through Season 1 reloaded. So in other words, any stats you're getting now are not going to count. Once the combat record is added, if it's ever added, because they haven't added it yet, even though they said they were going to, smile. It's not going to include anything before the record was added. So keep that in mind.
I haven't said anything, but I've been having like a Black Helicopters theory, wondering maybe if this is somehow related to a Warzone ranked mode. And the reason they're having so much trouble and why combat records are being a mess is because they're also trying to implement ranked combat records at the same time, which they've never done yet. And so it keeps being delayed or something because they're trying to figure out how to separate them. I don't know. Because why is this causing them so much trouble? They've always had the combat records working. Why is this giving them trouble? So I'm wondering if it's something to do with that, if they're like trying to drop in, like, surprise, ranked mode is here along with combat records. I don't know. Not sure.
It's possible.
Because that was an early Black Helicopters theory that a lot of people had, is they thought they were going to secretly drop rank mode in this season update when this COD tournament or this Warzone thing, whatever was going on for the CDL tournament. A lot of people were thinking that, like, oh, I think we're going to get ranked mode then, but who knows? I think they actually later said, at some point that it was not coming out till next year.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, like, you're thinking like a person. You're thinking as if this was like a normal dev company. So when the dev company
yeah, surely
doesn't do something that should be really trivially easy and obvious to do, and then they fail to do it, you're looking for reasons why they can't do it. Because surely, if it's this easy, there's no way they're fucking it up. And there must be some reason behind the scenes that's actually making it harder than it appears to be. Which I'm with you on, and that's fair, but we gotta remember, this is Infinity Ward. Maybe they just can't do it, and also it's trivially easy, because they're an incompetent dog shit dev studio. So you could be right. It could have something to do with ranked Warzone leaderboard or whatever. That's a very interesting Black Helicopters. I don't hate it, but I'm not sure if that's what's going on. And it could also very well be the case, just a trash dev studio that can't implement basic features. Day one features that they've had since COD 4 earlier, probably. I mean, I know there was a combat record in COD 4, maybe even earlier. I don't know. But they could do it 20 years ago
probably,
and they can't now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Great question. Maybe you're onto something. We do know we'll get ranked Warzone at some point. Or I think we know that. I think they've confirmed that. But they also confirmed we were getting a combat record, so maybe they lied about that too. Moving on. Out of combat overview. What is this? Oh, they're talking about the CDL.
Yeah,
and
don't
soccer.
need to talk about any. I think that's the end of this one.
Well, the
yeah,
Call of Duty endowment, I wonder if they're going to release a little endowment pack.
They already have. They've already released one early on when the game came out.
Oh, I wonder if I bought it. Interesting. Anyway, the team packs are on sale now. There's been a lot of buzz around the 100 Thieves operator skin because it's pretty much all black with like a red LA on it. However, this is going to get nerfed. Well, they said it's going to get nerfed. Who knows?
It already was nerfed. It's already been changed.
Oh, it's been changed. Okay, yeah.
That's why you don't see it anymore.
Yeah,
it's bright red now. No one uses it.
They added more red accents to it. The best looking team, by the way, is obviously the Seattle Surge. Their skin is dope as fuck. I love the colors. And the fucking trident, it's like all oceany, aquatic, bottom left. It fucks, dude. It looks better in game than in this screenshot. But I was
the thing is, none of them look good. Because they're all wearing fucking suspenders. Why do they have suspenders on, man? What's going on with that?
Man, they're going to school.
The suspenders ruin it for me.
They're going
and
to
the ugly goggles. Actually, I cringe and I despise seeing this skin in game, and it genuinely pisses me off that you use it. You and Jax both use it, and that actually pisses me off. The LA Thieves one was fine because it just looked like a cool black skin, but all of the other ones, you're cringe if you buy them, and you're an idiot. So fuck you.
That's cool, man. I would love to, again, and I've said this before, I think, if I actually was a fan of the CDL, I would be a real, like, team cocksucker, you know? I'd be sucking them off. I'd have their operator skin, their stickers, their charms.
Would you?
Like if I was like you know how football fans get real aggressive and they get fucking like license plate frames and fucking...
They kill other people. They kill fans of opposite teams. If you're not a Dodger fan, at least they kill you. If
you are not a Dodgers fan or an Oakland Raiders fan and you go to one of those stadiums, you better you better be a good liar because you might get beaten to death. Yeah,
surely,
especially if your team wins. So don't do that. But yeah, they have all this like memorabilia and shit. It would be cool if I liked the CDL team and I would like rep their skin, be all cool about it. But I don't care about any of it. So unfortunately I don't. But anyway, moving on. So those are in the game now. Okay. Gear Fest is here. I don't know what this is.
Nothing else matters.
I don't care. Yeah. Don't care. And that's it. Yeah. Okay. So that was the blog post. And again, this came out before the patch actually happened. This was on the 9th. 'Tis the season for clean balls. Our friends at MANSCAPED are helping you clear your driveway for safe travels this holiday season. From stocking stuffers to white elephants, MANSCAPED's products are at the top of every wish list. Go to manscaped.com and use code DROPSHOT for 20% off and free shipping. MANSCAPED is a one-stop shop for all of your holiday needs. They have the perfect gift in the Platinum Package 4.0, plus loads of little presents, perfect for stocking stuffers. What better holiday gift than giving the gift of good hygiene and a few laughs? Manscaped offers a handful of their liquid formulations, including shampoos, body washes, upstairs and downstairs ball, deodorant, gels, exfoliants, absolutely everything they could need to keep it clean. Don't let their chestnuts roast in the wrong boxers. Get them a pair of Manscaped's boxers, which are fantastic. I have a pair. I'm not wearing it now, but I was yesterday. Specifically made to keep the area cool and provide holiday comfort all year round. Now that you've gifted them perfect privates, go beyond the groin with Manscaped's full body product line. Does Dad have disgusting nose hairs? Save his life with the Weed Whacker nose and ear hair trimmer. The Shears 2.0 is Manscaped's full kit for nail care with scissors, clippers, tweezers, and a file for the traveling man. There's the new Persevere cologne that brings a light, breezy, woodsy feel and gives that fresh tree scent even after the holidays are over. We've also got the Body Buffer. Unlike a loofah, which holds bacteria from dead skin, help them throw it out. Get that old loofah out and the Body Scrubber that feels smoother and acts tougher. And lastly, top off those stockings with the crown jewel for their family jewels, of course, the Lawnmower 4.0. The electric razor's advanced skin-safe technology is a life changer, and it is known for reducing nicks and cuts on Santa's sack, which is your ball sack, of course. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code DROPSHOT at manscaped.com. Once again, 20% off plus free shipping at manscaped.com. Use code DROPSHOT. Manscaped for a perfect gift that will be the holiday's biggest hit. So now we're going to move on to the actual patch notes. So this came later. Obviously, this was released yesterday on patch day. So we're not going to be super meticulous with the patch notes, but we are going to cover the broad strokes, the important items here. And we're going through these with you guys. So have some patience. So it says there are a lot of bug fixes here. Probably true for many of them. I don't think any of these are particularly relevant.
These ones at the top are all fixes they made to fix the patch. So if you want to read all the OG ones, you got to go down to, I guess, the 14th.
Okay.
Yeah, Season 1 Reloaded,
these
global
are like
December 14th. Yeah, and then the ones above were fixes they made because of the bugs created from the bug fixes.
Smile. Infinity Ward. So yeah, double XP weekend, by the way, doesn't matter. It is double weapon XP till the 19th. Though,
matters, yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. If you want to level up guns, now the time to do it. Shipment
24/7 plus
Shipment,
double weapon XP. Yeah.
Double XP kill confirmed was insane.
Yeah, that'll happen. Yeah.
I mean, noticeably faster than all the other modes on Shipment. Noticeably faster. I think I leveled up my little chimichanga, my little chimiera, like 7 times when it was kill confirmed. Every other game it would go about 3, maybe 4 times. I got like 7 levels.
Yeah,
when it was kill confirmed. Ooh, it was nuts, baby.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of quick XP. It's in like a short time too. Like that match is over in like 4 minutes and you get like 20 fucking thousand at weapon XP. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So, anyway, that's still the 19th. So Shipment's back. From the 21st to the 4th, celebrate holiday cheer with the Naughty List playlist on a special holiday version of Shipment. I wonder what that entails. Is it literally just the Shipment 24/7, but the reskin one? Guess we'll find out because they didn't tell us. Cool. So anyway, Raid.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just that.
Okay, yeah. So Raid episode 1, we talked all that I'm going to talk about that probably ever again. Rocket League, don't care. Quality of life changes. Oh, this is good. XP tokens menu has been changed to display how much time is left on your tokens in the lobby screen. So day 1 shit, they added it. Good. Oh, and you can now equip them in game through the pause menu, which they added to MW19. That's very good as well.
There's a nice little screen in game too. If you press escape or back, like change your gun or something, it'll also show in the bottom right if like whatever XP is active. So it showed double XP was active and double weapon XP because they're active for everyone right now, and they're like highlighted showing that they're live. And then like double battle pass XP is listed, but it's like grayed out showing that it's not active. Yeah. So they did a good job with that. That looks good.
Yeah. XP tokens can no longer be accidentally activated during double XP events. That's actually a good change too. So that's nice. Let's see. Attachments now have a tuning icon on them in preview, indicating which ones can be tuned and which ones cannot. That's really good because that was kind of annoying. Not a big deal, but this is a nice little quality of life improvement, which is in the game. Let's see. Various issues with weapon and attachment unlocks and progression have been addressed, including stats display. I wonder what that means. Stats
I don't know
display.
What the stats means. Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting. Added toggle versus hold for pinwheel. Cool. Oh, here we go. Social menu. Merged hub and friends tabs together.
Yep.
Day 1 shit. Remove the hub, but this is a step in the right direction at least. I don't know why there was ever a hub and a friends tab. I talked about it in the beta, so good. Glad they figured it out. By the way, I saw the menu once and I knew the fix, and it took them how long?
Yeah, it never made sense they were separate. It was very weird. It never made
sense. And if you play test it, or even while you're designing it, you never think, you know, what is the point of the hub, actually? What are we doing here? Because we're spending a lot of time on this, and it seems just useless. I'm just always going to go to my friends tab. No one thought that at the dev studio, but they finally figured it out, so that's good.
Fix various bugs impacting join or invite to party.
Some showcase shit, don't care. Channels, don't care. Groups, we talked about. Weapon balance, here we go. General. The Akimbo P890, the pistol, X12, Basilisk, and Deagle have received a damage reduction against armored opponents. That's really bizarre. Fix an issue causing shotguns to inconsistently display the broken armor hit marker. Okay, hold on. So, most of the Akimbo pistols, damage reduction against armored opponents. That's a real fucking weird way to balance these. I don't...
It's essentially just a Warzone change at that point is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it is just a Warzone change.
Maybe
it's a weird way to describe it, for sure.
It's also just a weird way to nerf them. Like, they need to be nerfed just make them do less damage. Or make them movement speed slower, make the hip spread wider, make the damage range less. Probably not that, but the other
They probably did 4 other things. They just didn't put them here.
That's fair. But it's just weird to do. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. They needed a nerf, so that's good. Do you know what the vibe is with secondaries now in Warzone? Because the vibe used to be Akimbo P890s. That was meta. Or Akimbo X12s. But since those have both been nerfed, are they still usable? Is it now the X13s? Or do you actually have to buy an SMG now?
Just a few things I've seen. People have been using SMGs now instead. I don't know, though. That's what I want to try today to see how much worse they are now.
Yes.
Not sure.
Yeah. So we'll get into that, but I think it was a pretty substantial nerf. So, which is good because it needed it, honestly.
Yeah.
Okay, so now some AR changes. Let's see. Cast off 74U, small reduction to close damage. 3 hits to kill requires at least 1 chest hit. So it's like for multiplayer on someone who's not armored. This is probably fine. That gun is really good. So you can still get a 3-hit kill up close, but you need to at least hit a chest shot. I think that's a fine change.
And it was really good up close. That was...
And so you can still get the same TTK, but you need to at least be hitting center mass. I think that's fine. This is a good nerf.
Yeah.
So there you go. Cast off 545 buffed a lot. Looks like that's an interesting. That needs some examination. That might be really good now. The Vel was buffed a lot, which it needed. It was a dog shit SMG. MX9 was also buffed. Or at least the 32 round mag was, which is fine. Let's see here. Deagle was changed. That doesn't really matter. I don't care. Shotguns can no longer kill fully armored players in one shot. So that's probably a good thing. Well, I think if I'm barrel stuffing you with a Lockwood in your head, you should die in 1 bullet, probably. But if snipers can't do that, then I guess shotguns shouldn't be able to either. Make them both be able to at that range, but okay. But anyway, there you go. I don't think the one-shot shotgun was a big deal anyway, but I guess I'm fine with this. They added a whole ass category to the Expedite 12, which is the semi-auto shotgun, the guard category. And with it are 3 attachments. That's interesting. I'm going to take a look at that. I'm curious if any of these are worthwhile. Because the guard category, I think, for some shotguns is what can increase the fire rate. Is that correct?
Oh, the guard is... If I'm not mistaken, I remember when I used shotguns, I never used the guard category, so it wasn't a good category. I thought that was so you could put, like, foregrips on it. You could put, like, a VX pineapple or something on it. I thought.
No, you don't need a... You didn't need to do that to be able to put an underbarrel. It's not like Tarkov. At least for that.
No, there was some for some guns, because you can't... I'm opening my game to look. For some
guns, yeah, but
for some of the shotguns it was. No, absolutely. I'm pretty sure. Does it not? What is the thing I'm thinking of then?
Well, I know for like the X13, for example, you have to put on a specific barrel and then it unlocks like the underbarrel category for that gun specifically. There's maybe a couple others that do that, but I don't think it was... I don't remember that being the case for shotguns, because I have a VX pineapple on all my shotguns, and I don't know... Maybe I was adding a guard anyway, but if I was, it's because it did something good.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see here.
I definitely didn't add an attachment with the sole purpose of adding an underbarrel.
The Expedite was the worst shotgun. So, okay, guard. Yeah, no, I'm thinking, okay, so guard is that one. So guard does... Yeah, like rechambering speed, ADS speed, recoil steadiness, sprint speed, different things like that.
So rechamber speed's really good. I wonder now for the Expedite. Can you look at the Expedite guard category, see what those suckers do?
The Expedite guard, one of them is sprint speed and hip walking. One is crouch movement speed and ADS speed. The other one is recoil steadiness and flinch resistance.
Okay, so they're all kind of
So none of them would be worth using. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, but still, that's actually a decent change nonetheless, though. It probably should have always had this category, and that first one seems pretty good. Hip walking speed, because you're never ADS with a shotgun, so that's pretty important. And sprint to fire is good on a shotgun. I don't know if you have that many slots on the Expedite, but because I'm probably running 5 milliwatt pineapple, long barrel, muzzle choke. That's 4. And then probably like a stock, because that's going to increase my sprint to fire more. So this probably isn't relevant, honestly.
No, yeah, I never use guards, I guess.
I use them for rechamber speed.
There's some, I thought, isn't there something else that does rechamber speed though too?
I think
maybe it was the guard. The thing that's confusing me is the guard location on the gunsmith is at different spots. Like on one gun I just looked at, it was over on the right, then on another gun it's like underneath the underbarrel. So I think that's what was confusing me, is where they placed it on that specific gun you're looking at.
I think you're thinking of marksman rifles where the bolt is what changes the rechamber speed.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Different on shotguns for some reason, which makes no sense, by the way. I don't know why changing a guard on a shotgun would change how... Well, I guess you can pump it faster in theory if the guard is more ergonomical or something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, this, I'm so glad I have Orion. I'm so glad I have Orion. Riot Shield. Reduced movement speed. Melee now takes 3 hits to kill in core instead of 2. Shield movement animation improved. I don't know what that means. Longer switch time pulling out throwing knife when the riot shield's equipped. Reduced movement speed and meleeing needing 3 hits to kill. I am so glad I have Orion, because doing all the challenges would suck a lot more, or will suck a lot more now. F's in the chat for you guys who saved this for last, because you fucked yourself hard. That
Dude, even hardcore is a 2-hit now. That's insane. Yes.
Oh my God. I'm so glad I got Orion.
That's what I read on Twitter. Not confirmed. They, of course, don't tell us. They don't say 3-hit kill in core, 2 in tier 1. Of course, why would they say that? This is insane. And embarrassingly enough, I died to this a couple times yesterday, a triple hit, because I not once had sound on playing Shipment, like I was saying. I was watching Tarkov streams, listening and watching to that with that sound on, and I had Shipment muted, barely paying attention at all. And I died one time. I was like, oh, what just killed me? I started watching the kill cam, and the guy hit me 3 times from right next to me. I didn't even notice. It was funny. This is miserable and a horrible change. You know why? The biggest issue with the riot shields is people putting them on their fucking back, not people having the ability to 2-hit someone.
True.
Insanity. Horrible change. Doesn't make any sense at all. Just don't let someone put it on. You still can't shoot people with it on their back. You still have to shoot at their fucking foot.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah.
Just either stop putting them in the game, because now you just nerf the shit out of it, or stop letting people put it on their back.
Yeah, true.
It's so easy. It's such an easy fix. That is the biggest issue, is people running around with it on their back, not someone fucking staring at me. Because what do? I throw a Semtex at them. I run close to them and I jump and I shoot over the riot shield and I kill. It's easy to counter it. It's the thing on the back is the annoying part. The fact that someone can lay down and have almost no hitbox just because they're laying down with a riot shield on their back, got it. Solid. Fucking idiot devs, man.
Yeah,
awful decisions as usual.
We have to stop adding riot shields to the game. It's such a stupid.
Yes. And it's have it be invisible on the back. It's that simple. I don't care how unrealistic it is. Just stop letting people throw it on their back and just remove an entire 50% of the person's hitbox. It's insane.
Yeah. No one uses riot shields as intended. They're either using it as their primary
exactly
to like get the camos so they can be fucking done with it, or they're cheesing it by putting it on their back so that they can't get shot in the back as easily. But
yeah,
I almost never see someone actually using it as intended, where they're like on B and Dom, like capping a point with it. Like no one does that. So take it out. And even if people are doing that, take it out anyway. What a stupid thing to have in an FPS game. Yeah, it's dumb. So anyway, if you don't have Orion yet and you're going for it and you didn't do the riot shield, oops.
That actually sucks. I feel very bad for those people.
Giant oopsie daisy.
That really does suck.
Yeah, because that is going to be miserable now. Yeah. So
yeah. Anyway. Because when you're 2-hitting people in core, by the time you're hitting them that second time,
you're one shot.
If someone unlike me was playing with sound on, they're turning around at that point and they know you're swinging. If you have to do that one more time every time, that's going to be so difficult to do.
Plus reduced movement speed, so people are going to get away from you more often now. Yeah, that makes the camo real shit. So I have Orion, but
I also have Orion.
Yeah, so
the Dropshot has Orion. Dropshot LC.
By the way, and we told you guys, do the most dog shit things first. Now, to be fair, I did not expect this to happen. I didn't expect this change. I did not see this coming.
They haven't done that before.
But
it's weird.
Yeah, but anyway, whatever. Anyway, okay, other balance changes. Vehicles is interesting. Reduce collision damage taken by the heavy chopper, especially from landing. Oh, so they buffed it. That's good. That's what
that was absolutely the case. I was playing duos with Cope the night before I left, I think. I landed the chopper. I swear to God, I hit the ground a little hard and the whole thing blew up and downed us both. But yet it can take 4,000 bullets when it's in the air. But I, barely tapped the ground and it exploded on me.
Yeah.
These are also now out of the game. We'll get into it later.
Yeah, we'll get into that, yeah. So a couple other things. I don't care about most of these. Added custom turret rotation speed for the APC light tank and heavy tank. Hopefully that means a nerf, which would be good. Increased damage done by AI to both LTV versions. Is an LTV one of the tanks?
What is the LTV?
Light tank vehicle.
I thought the LTV was that armored truck. Isn't that the armored truck with a 50 cal on it?
Probably, yeah.
Because there's one with and without a gun, so that must be both versions.
Yeah. Okay. That's kind of it. Added dynamic crosshair for the tank. So no tank nerf, which is annoying. Maybe the turret rotation speed was a nerf. I would assume they didn't make the turrets rotate better.
They already rotated slow.
Hopefully
on the tank, though.
Hopefully it takes 20 minutes because
your reticle would be there, but the actual turret wasn't there yet. So even if you shot where your reticle was, it wasn't lined up. So maybe that's what they did. Maybe you can only turn it as fast as the turret's actually moving now. Because they didn't line up before. So you could be aiming completely to your left, but if you had done it quickly, the turret was basically still facing in front of you. So if you shot, the round was still going in front of you, and that's not where you were looking. So maybe it's something to do with that.
Yeah, maybe. So this next thing, this might be, unless I'm misunderstanding, this might be my favorite patch note so far for MDub 2022-222 Game of the Year Edition 22. And here's the patch note. Ally nameplates disappear when an enemy is in the direct path of an ally to prevent mistaking enemies for allies. Now, the thing about this is, the reason I mistake enemies... Oh, no, never mind, I get it. That's good. Okay, this is a good change, never mind. Yeah, never mind. My brain malfunctioned. Hopefully this works as intended, because...
So, if it's an enemy is in front of you and the teammate's behind, then it disappears, right?
You know how sometimes you're looking at an enemy, but because you have a teammate in the same area also, you see your teammate's nameplate and you think the enemy you're looking at is a teammate. Now the teammate won't show up. The teammate nameplate won't show up anymore, so you'll know it's an enemy.
Yeah.
Which is good, because that happens fairly often, if this actually works. So that's good.
Yeah.
So anyway. Yeah, I misunderstood, so that wasn't my favorite patch note, never mind.
It also talks about in tier 1, this change will only apply to allies behind Geo. Allies with line of sight will always show nameplates to prevent friendly fire. It doesn't show nameplates in tier 1, does it? It literally just shows a blue dot above their head. I don't think it shows any of your teammates' actual nameplates, does it?
Yeah, I think it's just the dot.
So they're just nameplates, they don't even know it's in their own game. So they don't have nameplates for that. It's just a dot. Activision, I'm almost positive.
Do not play their own game. Yeah, you're right. It definitely doesn't show nameplates. Yeah. So either way, whatever. Okay, moving on. So changes to kill streaks, none of which needed to change. They needed to nerf the cluster strike.
Yep, and that didn't get nerfed. Smile
didn't get changed. So cool. Let's see. Equipment radiation blocker. What the fuck is that?
That's a DMZ thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't care. Okay. Attachments tuning. So I have a little bit to say on this. Most beneficial tuning value magnitudes have been increased, and some harmful tuning value magnitudes have been decreased. So what they mean by this is, let's say I'm tuning a foregrip, and I can get aim down sight speed on one side and recoil stabilization on the other. If I slam it to aim down sight speed, I'm going to get even faster ADS than before and less negative impact on my recoil stabilization than before. That's what they mean to say. Exclusive Ace put out a video on this today. I watched it. And this is like sort of true, but not always. So in some cases, beneficial tuning value magnitudes have been increased. And in some cases, in some cases this is true, but in other cases it's not, basically. So tuning overall has been improved a bit, though. If you slam your slider to one end, you're taking less of a hit in general on the end you didn't slide it to than you were before. And you're getting more of a benefit when you slam it to that side than you used to, which I think is overall good because it makes tuning more impactful, which I kind of like.
So instead, where a lot of the attachments before you would stop at like 60%, 70%, now you can take those further, right?
No.
So you can go to like 90%. Really?
No. Basically what it means is if I slide at 60%, I used to get 15 milliseconds faster ADS. Now I get 30 milliseconds faster ADS, for example. That make sense?
Yeah. Okay.
And then instead of getting 5% worse recoil because I'm sliding 60% away from recoil, I'm now getting 2% more recoil. So like I'm getting less additional recoil.
Okay.
That's what they mean. I don't know how it works with that value thing.
Yeah, they don't know either.
That's a good question. I have no idea.
Because I was playing around with tuning yesterday with a Chimera, little Chimera boy. And I noticed that instead of like, if I was going for gun kick control, if I was at 60% where I usually would like stop it because it wouldn't go further past that, I slid that slider to say like 80, 90%, and that gun kick control kept going up on the graph. Like it was giving you a lot more benefit where it didn't used to before. So I think all of the gun tunings have changed. Yeah. Okay.
So we can still trust the graph, probably. That's what I'm thinking.
It seems to be that way, yeah. Okay. As long as we can trust the graph, that's good enough for me.
Yeah.
That we know to trust the graph.
Yeah, I see what your point is now. Yeah. I think that's going to be still my rule of thumb. Ace didn't say anything about that in the video I watched today, but that's what I'm going to keep doing until he makes another video saying otherwise. Thermal optics. Increase range of all optics thermal target identification range. This is good because when I was going for like sniper long shots, I put on some of the 12x thermal sniper scopes, but people wouldn't light up unless they were within like 30 meters of you. So why make a thermal optic that zooms in 12 times if it doesn't light people up at that range? It was really dumb. So now they've simply fixed it. So that's good.
Yeah.
This is largely not relevant to anyone's gameplay experience, but it's basically making those long-range thermal optics actually do what they're intended to do, which is a good change.
Yeah.
And this is also a good change. Enemies' heat signature fades when they are killed. It used to not, which was annoying too, because you would see someone lighting up and it's just a corpse. Yeah. That was dumb. So now it'll fade. That's good too. And then some changes to specific optics. None of these are popular, so I don't care. They're all thermals anyway, so. Default weapon attachments graph contribution no longer shows up as modification on stat graphs. I don't know what that means. Do you?
Default weapon attachment graph. I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. Yeah, okay. It probably doesn't matter. Prevents seeing red or green on a default weapons stat graph. What kind of patch notes are these? What does that mean? Here's the entire patch note. Prevents seeing, no context. What prevents? There's a missing noun. I don't know what this means. Oh, graphs. It's under graphs. So graph prevents seeing red or green on a default weapon stat graph. Yeah, I don't get it. Doesn't make any sense. Wildly unclear. I don't know what that means either.
It probably doesn't matter anyways, yeah.
And then here's the next one. Fixes miscalculations shown in attachment tuning spider graph. Issue is prominent in sniper weapons optics categories. Chimera's battle category, and they list some examples.
So the spider graphs were far off.
I literally don't know what any of these mean. These are 3 patch notes I don't understand at all.
Yeah, cool.
So yeah, maybe they fixed the spider graph and now it's more accurate of a representation of what the tuning actually does.
For those certain categories, that's just for the last one. I don't know what the other ones mean. Yeah,
I don't care. I hate Infinity Ward and they can't do anything right. Certainly not use the English language once. I can't understand this, and I'm trying really hard, and I can read fairly well. What is an average some guy reading patch notes going to do when he reads this?
Well, they don't think about it. That's the thing. Yeah, they just ignore it because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Anyway, cool, whatever. I don't know. Here's the new LA Thieves operator bundle. So all of you who got scammed and bought it because it's all black, it's pretty fucking visible now. Still looks cool. It's like red and black, so that's dope. But there's like a lot more red accent now. It's way more visible, which is good, I think. So get scammed if you bought that skin. I didn't.
Same.
But there you go. Some more bug fixes, supposedly. Store audio. Fixed Dolby Atmos data issue where some sounds were not panning to ceiling speakers. Holy shit. Ceiling speakers, huh? How do they even... You know how they know that was a problem? Because Activision devs play on a 7.1-inch surround sound system in their living room that has ceiling speakers. That's how they know this. So, these are the type of players that are patching your game, chat. Audio occlusion remains disabled in multi as we investigate continuity issues impacting some players. Audio occlusion, what does that mean?
I'm looking that up. Supposedly, according to this website, it means how sounds are perceived in a closed environment, like inside of a building. Not sure if that's true or not.
So they disabled sound?
I don't even know if that was a setting. Audio occlusion. They make it sound like it was a setting, but we've never had a setting like that, have we?
I don't think it's a setting. I think it's just like just something about the audio. I'm very curious what that means, but
I don't know.
This will never
be
fixed,
fixes for footstep audio in this patch, by the way.
Audio's not ever going to be good, so just keep that in mind. Okay, let's see.
That's a big one. Fix an issue related to menus causing FPS drops in the firing range. The firing range actually works correctly now. I was shocked last night when I was using it with the new Honey Badger. I was like, oh shit, the firing range actually works now. It's not all like buggy and slow, so that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, some game mode changes here for multiplayer. None of them matter. Some map updates. Again, none of these matter very much.
Oh, they added bounty to private matches. That's been in for 2 weeks, Infinity Ward, by the way.
Shoot House can now be played in private matches. Maybe that's true. That'd be good.
Nice.
We really missed that for our hangout. Oh, yeah, by the way, we didn't talk about our hangout in the announcements. Custom lobbies work 1 out of 2.5 times on average. So you would start, we would spend 5 minutes getting a lobby together. We would press start match. And then as soon as we loaded in, everyone would crash out. Actually at least half the time. So that was fun and exciting. And Shoot House wasn't a playable map. So now it is. Anyway, there you go. Spec Ops, I refuse to read it. I don't care. CDL Mosh Pit is now live. As of December 1st. Wait, what? It wasn't live on December 1st. Didn't they take it out? I don't know. Whatever. There might be a CDL Mosh Pit in. I don't know. Now Warzone. We got solos, duos, and quads. Mini Royale is trios.
CDL Mosh Pit I think has been in.
Oh, okay. Cool. Well, whatever. It's still in then. Mini Royale is trios. And it has a max player count of 54. That's interesting.
Interesting, yeah. Very interesting.
54 players. Yeah, we'll have to try that. That sounds decent. Warzone Cup, don't care. DMZ. Okay. General improvements to lighting and shadows across several major POIs on Al Mazrah. I wonder if that's true as well. We're going to play Warzone today. We'll get back to you guys on that. But that's good if true, but the visibility's never been terrible to me in this game. In Warzone anyway, to be honest.
I agree, yeah. The dark shadows on Al-Mazrah were generally not nearly as bad as the dark shadows on Fortune's Keep and Caldera specifically. Rebirth of Shadows were fine, usually, oddly enough.
Yeah.
Keep though was really Keep had some fucking dark ass corners. Yeah,
Keep was actually the worst. But yeah, again with diamonds, even if it is bad, I don't know. But that's cool. So they added Building 21 to DMZ. We talked about that already. BR adjustments for regular ass Warzone. Increased number of active strongholds to 5, up from 3. That's a big and good change. This is a step in the right direction. More players being able to access more loadouts more quickly. This is good.
I wonder if they stay on the map now. They still show up on the map after people grab them.
Stays,
or if that's because again, that's something we don't know if that was an intended feature or if that was a bug that it disappears.
It seems to me like it's a bug because if it's still accessible, why would they take the icon off? Because all you're doing is making people like remember or mark where the place was. I think it's a bug, and I am curious if it still is that way or not. It's a great question. I don't know.
I didn't hear anyone talk about that, so I have a feeling it still disappears.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll find out today. AI combatants, damage per bullet reduced by 26%. Why not 25? What are they thinking? Why 26? But why?
Must be something to do with like the difference between 1 or 2 bullets
like
killing.
Shots
I don't know.
To kill. Yeah, it must be it. Number of units per site cut in half. So the AI shitters in strongholds do a quarter less damage, and there are half of them. That's good.
Man, that drop strat's even easier to do now, huh?
Yeah, the drop strat.
You can just fucking send it without guns. Really, you take your pistol and you can probably clear a stronghold now.
Yeah. So these are good changes. It makes the AI so trivial that why were they ever added in the first place? Which is kind of what we've been saying since before Warzone 2 came out. But,
and they're not fun to fight. Why have that feature in a battle royale?
And now they're not challenging either. So what's the point of
that
at all?
More challenging. They just make the game more buggy, lower FPS,
and slower.
Yep.
And I get my loadout slower. And why? Exactly. Yeah. So we've been telling you guys this.
I think we're going to start leaning towards a major change with those things. We'll talk about it in a bit here.
We'll get into it. Doubled the time between waves of reinforcements at strongholds. That's really good too. And the number of units per wave is also cut into 2/3 of what they were.
The double the time between waves is bigger, I think, than the damage per bullet reduction and the number of units per site. Because that was the annoying thing, is by the time you cleared it and then looted the place, started getting your loadout, grabbed all the shit up off the ground, the other wave was already there pushing you and players were pushing you. That was like the worst part. So now that the wave thing has changed especially, that's going to make it a lot easier to just get out of there. Get in and get out.
This also makes camping a stronghold if you're the first one to get the loadout, because you still get the UAV sweeps. Way better.
Yes.
Way fucking stronger. And conversely, it's going to make pushing a stronghold, if you're not the first one there, a lot more dangerous. So, well, not really, actually. It'll be equivalently dangerous, but still dangerous. It makes holding it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So, anyway. Black Site, AI combatants now have additional armor.
They didn't need that. They already had a shit ton of armor, it felt like.
I think because of all the other nerfs to AI, they want black sites to still be more challenging, so they just gave them more armor. But the black site AI is still going to be 26% less damage and 50% fewer of them. So that's probably fine.
That's true.
Rewards an upgraded version of the Stronghold UAV, which will sweep twice as far and about 30% faster. That's good too, because honestly, we don't even go for black sites because I don't care enough. Because it's not quite worth it enough.
This still, in my opinion, isn't making me want to go there. There's no reason to go clear a black site just to then get a little bit larger UAV sweep in that area.
True.
Because by the time you clear a stronghold, you have so much money. What's the benefit in going to a black site? You don't need money. You don't need loot at that point. Maybe a large backpack and an advanced UAV are the only two reasons. And even then, if it's like cross map, if it's not within 300 meters, I'm never even thinking about going to it.
Yeah, I'd rather just go kill people. Yeah.
Exactly. You're just going to risk dying there when you go to that, and then it pops up on everyone's screen right in the middle of their crosshair saying, Black Site has been taken over, and then it lists your names, and everyone comes and tries to kill you.
Yeah. Why do I need to know if some guy got a Black Site key?
I don't give a shit. Yeah. I don't care that they cleared it. They list all the people's names. I don't care.
I'll know anyway when they call the advanced UAV.
Yeah, I don't.
Which I do want to know, but that's enough. That's all the info I need. So stop putting things on my reticle. Yeah, that's a great point. So anyway, DMZ adjustments. I actually refuse to read them. I don't care. Oh, this is kind of cool though. Eliminated players in DMZ are now able to request help from enemy players, resulting in them joining the enemy squad as a new member. It's called a plea for help. That's kind of cool. That's good for DMZ. I like that.
Yeah.
So, open that ping wheel, shitters. Whoa! Successfully extracting multiple times in a row in DMZ will provide players with random perks for their next infill.
Yep.
That's interesting. Because right now, there's no perks in DMZ. Which is something, if we played more, we would definitely have talked about and noticed. Like not having fast hands, for example. But I just didn't even think about it because the game was so shit and boring. And I have all the time in the world to reload.
Perks also.
Yeah, true. No double time. But now you can get random perks. That's interesting. So... medium and large backpacks now allow for a third weapon slot. So large backpacks...
supposedly just for DMZ. Supposedly.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe it. Large backpacks already did allow for a third weapon slot. So, not sure what's going on there. But medium backpacks didn't. I'm curious if medium backpacks in regular Warzone have a third weapon slot. That could actually make sniping more viable. Because you can get a medium backpack every game if you do a stronghold.
Yeah, literally every game.
So, anyway, something to think about. Faction missions, don't care. Okay. Oh, here we go. Equipment. Bomb drone. Players with 3 armor plates on the outer radius of an explosion will survive, but receive critical damage. So a nerf to the bomb drone. That's good.
I wonder what outer radius means, though, because if they can still one-tap you fully plated, then that's not enough. Not enough at all.
Yeah. Probably not. Yeah. But any nerf to them is good, so it's a step in the right direction.
Take them out of the game, but yeah.
Default loadouts have been updated in Warzone. That's all they say. So I don't know what that means.
The default loadouts, if you don't have custom loadouts for some reason, and you want to use their default perk packages and loadouts, they changed them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
That's all. It doesn't matter because people don't run default loadouts. So yeah.
Exactly. You can be out of bounds for 10 seconds now. A sound will play to alert nearby players when a player has been revived. Warzone 1 had this. That was good.
Thought this game already had it. Never really thought about it. You can hear people reviving if you're close, but yeah, I guess it didn't play a sound.
The sound when they like get up. Yeah.
Once they get up.
That's probably good. I'll take that.
Oh, and you'll hear it a lot further away and way more easily than footstep audio. So that's cool. Glad they can fix that.
This is a great change. When players drop a weapon, the respective ammo will also drop to the ground. Moving forward, this ammo will be automatically looted should other players with a partial stack of the same ammo type walk over it. If this is actually working, this is really big and arguably in the top 5 of quality of life changes that needed to be made to Warzone 2, is allowing me to run over the fucking AR ammo and auto pick it up. Day 1 shit. Hopefully this is actually working as intended. That's a great change if so. So we'll let you guys know. We're going to play after the pod. We made improvements to ground loot priority so that interacting with desired items is easier. Hopefully that works again. Items purchased via buy stations will spawn spread out rather than stacked for easier interaction.
Oh, wow.
That's good.
That's a good idea. Yeah, nice. Who would have thought that?
A sound will play to notify the squad when a member in the gulag has eliminated an opponent or been eliminated. That's good too.
Ooh, yes.
So we are not getting the combat record after all. There are concerns about the accuracy of the data population. I don't know what that means, especially if you aren't including old data. How could this be an issue?
That's what I don't understand. How has it always worked? How do we still see like the same exact bugs that were in MDub 2019 in this game? Which obviously it's the same engine, it's just upgraded. So how all of a sudden does the combat records not work? That's why I'm like, my Black Helicopters idea is they're doing something also involving ranked combat records, and that's why they can't figure it out. I don't know. Because there's no reason this shouldn't work. I'm not understanding it.
Yeah, I don't get it either. It's just classic Infinity Ward dog shit trash with no context, by the way. Yeah. What does data population mean? I'm not kidding. Whoever writes the patch notes for Infinity Ward should not have this job because they are so unclear with so many of the things they say. What is data? The accuracy of the data population. What does that mean? It's so unclear that it makes me wonder if they're being unclear on purpose because they just don't want to tell us the real problem or something. Like that's how unclear this and many of the things we've gone over today are. I just don't understand it. But whoever, if you're listening, the iDub dev who writes these patch notes, you should resign. What? You can't write clearly at all. It should just be obvious why they don't work. It should be clear. Whatever the problem is, it can be easily communicated to people who are not software developers. Because you're writing this for your consumer base, right? Not software devs. I don't know what data population means in this context. So fucking, you actually shouldn't have a job. And why do you keep capitalizing player? Stop. Player is not capitalized here. Anyway, here's a list of bug fixes. Oh, fix various issues that prevented player nameplates from appearing while spectating. That's good.
Nice.
I'm never dead, but my teammates complain that they don't see my nameplate a lot. Let's see. So you should be able to hear bomb drones from farther away now. There's apparently a bug that you couldn't.
Fix an issue that caused players and AI combatants to not render properly during a match. I hope that means when you're looking at like far distances. It probably doesn't, but we'll find out. If you're like 400 meters or... No, I think it was actually like 300 meters or more. Their characters doesn't... You don't see them doing anything. They're just floating.
They're just standing man.
They're standing man moving, yeah. So it makes it impossible to hit them with like a sniper because you don't know where their character model really is. You don't know where their head's at that time,
their head is bobbing side to... They're leaning, which shouldn't be in the game, but you don't see it, yeah, so... fix an issue that caused... excuse me, where was I? Prevented players from pinging a loadout drop, so you should be able to ping loadies now. That's good. Let's see. Still
fix an issue that prevented players from interacting with the hidden stashes, the loot stashes while crouched or prone. That must be what happened. When I was playing with Cope, Cope was like, I can't loot any of these stashes. He must have been crouched or prone and got that bug.
Oh, okay.
That must be it. I was wondering what the fuck. I just figured he was dog shit and stupid.
Let's see. Still
just a ton of bug fixes here. A lot of little tiny things. Most of these I've never even seen or experienced once.
Oh, okay. Kill feed notifications should now show when friendlies are downed. That's good.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one.
Fix an issue prevented KBAM from pinging elements on the TAC map. That's good. Let's see. Still just read. There are a lot of bug fixes here.
They're like actually 100. Yeah. 100.
We're just looking for the important ones here.
Fixed an issue that caused Jailer to stand still and not engage players after appearing in the gulag. Never had that happen.
Fix that, yeah.
He always chased me. Yeah, remove the Jailer. Oh, fix an issue that caused a pinged stronghold to not appear on the mini-map. That may not be the issue I'm thinking, because that specifically says pinged. I don't know if they mean when you ping it, it was disappearing, or if they're talking about how it just always disappeared.
Interesting. Still looking through. Dude, there are so many bug fixes, which is good.
Yeah.
A lot of these are just like you said, kind of really small and dog shit, though.
I think that's it for those. And then the other ones are for DMZ. Yeah. A lot of little things.
I was hoping we could edit perks, but that's obviously not in the game, right? Like edit my
yeah, we'll get into that. That's not intended.
We'll get into it. Okay.
They don't want us to, so. Cool, I think that's it.
Yeah, that's it for DMZ. That. And then DMZ I refuse to talk about, and that's
good luck, have fun, be good to each other is what they say.
Yeah, I won't be doing that.
Fuck you.
Make a fun game, and then I'll be in a good mood. So, but until you do, I'm going to be toxic as fuck, and it's your fault. Whoever writes the patch notes at Infinity Ward, whenever someone's toxic in your game, it's your fault because you put them in a bad mood with your dogshit patch notes. Yeah. So there's the patch notes. Yeah, overall impressions, a lot of bug fixes, which is good. That's what needed to happen.
That's the number one thing, yeah.
Yeah, shipment's fine. The new AR is fine. But I didn't really want or expect a ton of new content anyway. I wanted mostly bug fixes. A couple things I was hoping for, none of which we got, were, which I wasn't expecting, but I was hoping for. Plate while sprinting, didn't get it. Increased TTK or increased health, didn't get it. Let's see, what else? Being able to edit my perks in my Warzone custom class, didn't get it. So a lot of things, those are like the big things I kind of wanted and didn't get. But overall, I'm fairly happy with this. Multiplayer played fine. The real first impression is going to be after today once we play Warzone, though. So that'll probably be on Patreon. That'll probably be up on Monday. But I'm most curious about how Warzone looks now after the
Maybe
patch.
We can...
But I have not been hearing good things about Warzone. So what are your overall
Not good the
thoughts?
first day or two. It got a little better, which we'll get into when we get to the news in a few minutes. Maybe we could release that first impressions. We can go public with it and launch that for next Saturday.
Yeah, we could do something like that.
We could do something like that.
Or we could
launch
it.
In case we have to miss another one. Because we're obviously going to miss something else when you're gone. We can drop that other one then. We'll figure it out. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I've literally only played Shipment, 1 round of Santa Senya, and 1 round of Tier 1. So I hardly have any impressions right now other than the new gun, which we already talked about. So bug fixes sound promising. The looting changes sound promising. The game needs a ton of work still.
Too, yeah,
but this Season 1 Reloaded content should have absolutely been delayed until... January, and this should have just all been spent on bug fixes. Maybe that content was already done though, so maybe that didn't really waste any time. I'm sure it was actually, but it's just creating more problems when you put more content into the game.
Correct.
The Warzone Cup mode should have never came because again, more bugs are just being brought into an already buggy game when they add shit like that in. But I'm excited to try Warzone, see how it feels now. I watched Aiden or someone I tuned into for 2 minutes last night before I got bored, and the looting did look a lot better. He was like looking at the ground, everything was spread apart. He was picking up everything he was looking at, so I'm excited to try that.
Okay,
see how that works, because that was one of the most annoying things. That also slowed down the game a lot, spending fucking actually 25 seconds trying to get a stack of ammo because you can't get the angle for it. If you can just run over that now, that's speeding up the game a lot. I think people can underestimate how much this looting system slows down the game in general. So, yeah. But yeah. So then moving on here, we got some changes since then. We got some patches to the patch that they did. So here's one. So Raven's been tweeting a lot. They've been tweeting a lot now about this game. A change implemented in the Season 1 Reloaded update unintentionally resulted to base AI combatant difficulty being increased. Oh, this was only for DMZ. We have fixed that issue. So if you're a DMZ player, you notice the AI was actually harder. They fixed that issue. Another one, Today's Warzone 2 update reduced the number of buy stations across Al Mazrah. A new update is now live that doubled the average number of buy stations per match.
Wow.
So I didn't realize that before. I guess supposedly the buy stations that were on the map before were already there. Like always, every single time. That's what they made it sound like. I didn't think that was the case. Maybe it was. But so now I guess it's random, but it's more random, but there's double the amount of buy stations on the map at one time. So that's cool. And then here's probably the biggest one.
Yeah.
This change came 2 days ago after the Season 1 Reloaded. The loadout drop public event will now occur in the second circle, one circle earlier than before. That's a big change.
That's huge.
Big change. I'm excited to see how that makes the game play, if that makes any drastic changes or not. Change it to the first circle instead, or have one first and one third or fourth. But this is definitely better than only having it in the third circle. So this combined with now having 5 strongholds sounds like a very promising change.
Yeah, for sure. That's fantastic. I'm very excited to play Warzone and see how it feels now. Because a lot of these changes, nothing big, but I didn't want anything big. I wanted small quality of life improvements and bug fixes. Yep. And that's a lot of what we got. Again, I didn't get my big... I guess I'm on the naughty list too, because Santa did not give me sprint while plating, plate while sprinting, increased TTK, or my own perks. But he gave me a lot of decent things. He put items in my stocking, but he didn't wrap me any presents. That's what the Season 1 Reloaded has been.
Yeah. Shout out to Santa.
But those stockings are stuffed full of bug fixes. So
are they?
Warzone sounds better now than it was before the patch. So that's
for
good.
sure.
And the big thing, again, Lodi during second circle is really big. I wonder what the time differential is between strongholds opening and then public Lodi dropping. And if it's only like a 90 seconds?
No, it's gotta be. I feel like it's probably about like 3 minutes. That's what I'm thinking.
Strongholds are still probably worth doing in that case then. Especially for the backpacks and shit. Yeah, but we'll get into it. Either way,
regardless, strongholds are still going to be worth doing, in my opinion, right now. Especially now that they made them even easier. There's no reason not to do it, especially when we invented the drop strat.
That's correct.
Which works every single time.
Yeah, but still is a good change.
Yeah. Next up here from Infinity Ward, they had tweeted out a couple days ago that you can save blueprints finally. And you can also save weapon tuning. They then deleted that tweet because they realized you couldn't save weapon tuning. Well, now you actually can, and it works. So when you save a blueprint, it saves the tuning as well. So for some reason, you want to build 2 M4s with the same attachments, but tune it completely different. One for, I don't know,
just
playing
put your tuned
6s
M4
or something.
In a different class setup.
Well, exactly, yeah. But you can, so you can do all those things now. Just bottom line is you can save your custom tuning, which is good because it's annoying having to do that every single time because you don't remember what it is.
Yeah, correct. We didn't mention this, but you can save weapon blueprints now.
Because they didn't say that anywhere. They must have said it somewhere. I guess we skipped it.
Yeah.
Maybe they didn't put it in the... They didn't put one of the biggest things in the patch notes. They probably just tweeted it, yeah.
So you can save weapon blueprints, and it does include everything. It includes weapon tuning, the attachments, the camo, the decals, all that shit, which is really good. So yeah, if you want to try, like for example, in multiplayer, I have a class set up for shipment with my Chimera, my tuned Chimera with the gold camo and all that. One of them is a perk package with overkill to throw the riot shield on my back because I'm a piece of shit.
You really are. That's so embarrassing.
And then I kept getting flash grenaded. So I said, okay, I need to make a class that's exactly the same as this, but with battle hardened instead of overkill. So then I made that class. I saved a blueprint. I carried it over to the other one. It does in fact work. So this is good.
You still can't equip a custom gun blueprint mid-game though, right? If you want to change something on one of your other loadouts.
You can't. I think you can equip... Yeah, you can equip it mid-game, but you can't like create it mid-game.
Really?
Yeah, it's always been like that.
Like... Has it?
Yeah, 100%.
Mid-game where you can change your gun? Okay.
Yeah, because you...
All right.
Well, hold on. Can you? I think you can.
I don't know.
Maybe not. I don't know. I thought you could. I'm pretty sure you can.
It doesn't really matter much. I was just curious. Whatever. That's usually not going to be the case. But Anyways, they also deployed a fix yesterday that has drastically decreased the number of crashes on all platforms. The crashes were really bad. A lot of people were complaining it was worse. They had more crashes than when the game originally launched, actually, when they launched this Season 1 Reloaded update. A lot of Warzone crashes again. Those seem to be okay. I crashed 3 times, though, since this update came out, but it was always when I was alt-tabbed. So don't alt-tab. There's a pro tip for you. If you are, you may crash every single time, because that's what I've been doing.
2022, by the way.
So that's fun and exciting. And then last thing here from Raven yesterday, I believe. Another minor Warzone 2 update has gone live. Yeah, this was last night. The chance to encounter multiple circles has been reduced to 15%, down from 33%. Love the fact that Raven is using numbers, by the way. iDub would just say, reduce the chance of circles.
Yeah.
And then he said, what? What is that? That's what they would have said. Reduce the chance of circles.
Yep, that's
and
all.
And then circles would be capitalized, by the way.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. So cool, so that's good.
Spit GIF, Infinity Ward devs, spit GIF. Fuck that studio. And
then the other, fix an issue causing players to unintentionally lose money when they were equipping a loadout. I didn't know that was happening. But anyways, cool. So that circle splitters are less likely to happen. Not sure how I feel about that. I don't think anyone's...
33% was probably fine, but I don't care if it's 15.
It did seem like it was happening a lot. I don't think anyone in the world has played enough Warzone yet, except for like Reed Boy, to tell if that's a good or bad change. I don't know. They were interesting for sure, to say the least. Don't know if I like them or not, but they were interesting, the circle splitters. So they're less common now regardless.
Now, on to news and upcoming changes, where we have some fun and exciting little tidbits here. Some little titty bitties. And we are going to talk about perks, right? You promised me.
I think that's in here, yes.
Okay, because I don't know anything about it. I'm curious, though. I haven't looked into it.
Yes, there's something here for it.
Okay, good. So we'll get there in time, but what do we got here first, Pig?
Starting off with this. So this has been, I was kind of talking about earlier how the Season 1 Reloaded, when it launched, the day it launched, very, very negative feedback. Not what people expected. A lot of dev errors and shit still. Within like 2 days, though, the sentiment around it has changed quite a bit, it seems, because one of those things is Raven all of a sudden is tweeting 5 times a day about updates to Warzone, whereas before they weren't. So this is something Maverick pointed out on Twitter, Maverick GG, was going back over old COD blog posts. The first pick is from the technical blog posts. The other is from the Reloaded blog. Both of those are the ones we just went over. They were 4 days apart. So in one of them, the first one, the oldest one, says Warzone 2.0, Call of Duty Warzone 2.0 are published by Activision. Development for both games, okay, that was one sentence. Development for both games is led by Infinity Ward, with additional development from blah, blah, blah. So in the later one, when we got the Season 1 Reloaded update, it says something a little bit different in there. It says, prior to the launch of Season 1 Reloaded, expect patch notes with details on all technical changes, including major fixes and balancing. And balance tuning. Then it said Raven Software will handle Warzone 2.0 Battle Royale updates, and Infinity Ward will detail changes in MW2 and Warzone 2.0 DMZ. So people are thinking that means like literally Raven is just totally in control of Warzone now. I don't know if that's the case.
I hope so. I hope
it very well may just mean they're talking about updates, because it did say Raven will handle the Warzone 2.0 updates and Infinity Ward will detail changes to MW2 and Warzone 2.0 DMZ. So I don't know what that means, but it certainly seems like Raven is definitely doing a lot more, because now Infinity Ward is retweeting Raven's tweets about Warzone, whereas before it was the other way around, like last week. Not really sure how I found what I think about this. It's interesting for sure, because Raven, we obviously should talk them a lot during Warzone, but they did a really good job for a while, and then they just got way too active with everything, and they meshed Resurgence into BR, and Battle Royale wasn't a Battle Royale anymore. So I trust them more than Infinity Ward at this point, I believe. I think Infinity Ward has already just made it clear they can't do this anymore. They're a dogshit development studio. But I find it hard to believe that Infinity Ward spends the last 2-3 years developing this whole Warzone experience just to already have Raven in total control. So I don't find that to be the case. I think Infinity Ward is still the lead, and Raven still has to go through them. But I think Raven now is making a lot more of the changes, whereas early on when Warzone launched, it was Infinity Ward making the, quote, changes that weren't actually being made.
And the best times in Warzone were when Raven was in do you guys remember the first 6 months in Verdansk when Raven took over for Infinity Ward? When this was when Cold War came out. So, well, the integration was a fucking disaster. But after that,
I don't think you can blame them for, though. Yeah,
exactly. So we got, in that time, all of a sudden, really good patch notes, sensible weapon balance changes that were actually detailed and outlined in the patch notes in a way that we hadn't gotten for the first year of Warzone when IDA was leading it.
Yeah.
So I think if this is true, or the degree to which this is true, is fantastic, because when Raven is in the driver's seat, Ted Timmy Timmons gets too active. But if Raven is in charge of simply keeping this thing on the tracks, but using Infinity Ward's vision, that's fantastic. That's best case scenario. Because we won't have a clown fiesta, redeploy tokens, resurgence tokens, extraction tokens, good guy tokens, villain tokens, come fiesta tokens. We won't have these things. We won't have portable decontamination stations, etc. But what we will have is sensible weapon balance changes that are also detailed in patch notes with explanations of why they did it. So Raven has been at their best as a development studio in the Warzone arena, the Warzone scene, when they have been helping to execute the vision of Infinity Ward. And the vision of Infinity Ward is a pretty good one. Like, you know, let's keep things fairly realistic. Let's not get too crazy. And then they just can't do anything else. That's all they do. Infinity Ward's the big picture guy, and Raven is the get shit done guy. So if they're actually in their respective roles, I think it can go really well, and it will go really well. And we've seen evidence of it before. Again, after Cold War took over, Raven was in charge, and Warzone patch notes and weapon changes were really, really good and sensible. So we already have evidence that this is like the best case scenario, and it seems like we're going back to that, which is really good. And we are already seeing the benefits of that, because Raven has given us more details on how the game changed with Season 1 Reloaded in the span of 4 tweets than Infinity Ward's entire patch notes blog post did. Actually, there are more numbers in those 4 tweets, percentages, damage values, in 4 tweets by Raven than there was in an entire blog post by Infinity Ward with the same patch notes. So we're already seeing that this is a good change, and this is where Raven shines. So I'm very, 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 very happy and pleased with this, and I hope it's true.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's still IDUB's vision. Not sure how much they can change when it comes to things like loadouts, strongholds, perks, a lot of those things. So that's the kind of the downside to it.
I'll say this though, I'd rather have strongholds than redeploy tokens. You know?
Yeah.
Than all the crazy clown shit we got in Caldera. I'll take strongholds, which are also cringe, but not that bad. So, but yeah, I'm with you.
You know, Caldera got shit when, as we talked about back then, all of the Resurgence players tried it out again after fucking 6 months of not playing, and they're like, "Oh, Caldera is actually pretty fun." Yeah, because it's Resurgence now. You respawn every death, basically. Yes, that's why you like it.
Yeah,
exactly. It wasn't a VR anymore. So another thing here, Raven said they're investigating an issue with high alert causing the user's screen to not pulse when in view of an enemy. So high alert has not been working in Warzone. They're looking into that. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out with high alert on this map. If it ever actually works, to see how good of a perk that'll be. Another thing, this is kind of out of order, but whatever. So this is from Charlie Intel. We were talking about the Building 21 with DMZ. So they said, note, this was on December 14th, by the way. DMZ is not live with today's update. In a separate location, So Building 21 in DMZ is not live with today's update in a separate location that's not Al Mazrah, and Infinity Ward has said it's up to the players to figure out when it's live and how to get into it. Yeah, that didn't make any sense.
So Building 21
basically
is
it's a
live,
separate map.
But you can't, but no one knows how to access it yet. Is that what he's trying
supposedly,
to say?
No, because it's also not live, I guess. This is not a troll. Infinity Ward directly said during a call we had with them last week that the building won't be live immediately and that they have no plans to announce when it does go live. So
a lot of pomp and circumstance about something no one gives a shit about. You know what this reminds me of?
DMZ's a lot more people care about DMZ than I thought there would be. A lot more people. I'm surprised.
I don't know. I don't see
people
that.
like J-God still only play DMZ. He does not play Warzone at all. He only plays DMZ.
That is weird.
And I see a lot of people interacting with his tweets saying the same thing.
Does he has he not like finished the faction missions yet? Are there that many?
Well, a lot of them were also bugged and you like couldn't complete them. But yes, he's getting close to the end, but a lot of them get crazy. Like you have to extract with like certain like 50 of a certain item over the course of playing DMZ, and the items are like super rare. Just like things that aren't fun, that kind of get you to replay.
More fun, actually.
Is that though? But that's like, I don't know. That doesn't sound.
It depends on the reward. If you get like a super sick blueprint.
No, I'm sure it's not that. No.
Yeah.
Anyway, probably get another custom weapon slot. I was gonna
say. Oh fuck! What was I gonna say? What I was gonna say now I remember is this is reminding me a little bit of the Godzilla event, where they were hyping the fuck out of something no one gave a shit about, and then it came out, no one gave a shit about it. It's kind of what Building 21 feels like to me, but maybe we'll see. I don't know.
Well, this will be something that's in the game like permanently though, but yeah, it's not on Al Mazrah, like, so it's like, how do you get there? What do you do? You know?
Yeah, it is weird.
I don't know. I don't know how that works at all.
If it comes to actual Warzone, then it could be like how the strongholds, you needed the crazy ass keypad. Maybe it's something like that, except it also like transports you to like an island you can't get to otherwise. I don't know. Interesting. I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So again, this is coming from Charlie until after the update went live, because this is when everyone was mad about things. Some Warzone 2 updates. There are no plans to add back plating while sprinting. This was in a call they had with Infinity Ward devs like last week or the week before. There are no plans to add back plating while sprinting. Plating while running through doors should work after today's update. I guess that didn't.
I noticed that. It was annoying.
I don't. Yeah, guess I didn't.
You could just open the door, so it wasn't that big of a deal. But
private matches are planned for early next year with expanded support for a variety of features. That's good. We'll see what those features are.
Yeah,
because they've been saying that since literally Verdansk, that they wanted to make private matches have features. So I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
And then more quality of life to come in future updates. Duh. Surely there must be. So no plans to add back plating while sprinting. That's an interesting one. That's kind of that's what you get when iDubbbz's in charge. No one likes, not a single person likes this change. Like actually no one. Well, there are people, obviously, I'm exaggerating, but the vast majority of people, I think casuals and other people, want it back. Mm-hmm. And Infinity Ward is just like, no, we don't care. We don't give a shit about your feedback. Because remember, Joe Seacott still has a job. Pat Kelly still has a job. So things are staying the same.
Yeah. This is just like that blog post after the multiplayer beta. They said, oh, we hear you guys' feedback that you want a traditional mini map. Don't care, though. That's what the blog post said. And we're not doing it. So they said, we acknowledge this feedback and that it's like almost unanimously agreed upon that you guys want a traditional mini map. I'm explicitly telling you as the developer, I know that the feedback exists. I'm acknowledging it on our website and I'm telling you, go fuck yourselves for no reason. I mean, no reason, but they know better than us because for a reason, not because they play the game, because they don't. So I don't know why.
Exactly.
But yeah, so this is just another of those things. I don't understand what... If I'm an iDubbbz dev and everyone wants to be able to sprint and play it at the same time, and I know that everyone wants it, but I refuse to add it, what is the reason why I don't want to add it? Does iDubbbz recognize that this shrinks the skill gap? I guess they must, and that's why they refuse to add it, even though everyone wants it in.
Yeah. I don't know.
So just letting you guys know, I mean, they know that people want these things and they don't change it anyway because they have ulterior motives. And I think in this case, much like the traditional minimap, this is to shrink the skill gap. It's to cater to more casual players and take everyone and just squish them to the mean so everyone has a 1.0 KD. In the perfect Thanos in fucking world, the magic fairy tale world, where Infinity Ward can snap their fingers and do whatever they want, they would, I'm not kidding, if it was possible, here's what Infinity Ward would do. Make every game feature such that every single player had a 1.0 KD.
Oh, geez. Joe Seacott would come his little pants.
He would come inside of his little tiny pants. Yeah.
Oh my God, he'd be so excited, yeah.
That's quite literally what every change they have made in the past 3-4 years has been geared toward. It is removing skill gaps so that every player is the same. That if you're good, you don't get rewarded, and if you're bad, you don't get punished. This is one of those things. This is why everyone wants it and they still refuse to do it, because they don't care what you want. They care about selling microtransactions, and if everyone has a 1.0 KD, if there's no skill gap, then even the shittiest players will randomly win once in a while, and then they can sell microtransactions to those players as well. So, smile.
Yep.
Thanks, Infinity Ward. They don't care about you. They don't care about what the consumer wants. They're a shit development company and a shit publisher.
Another update with DMZ. No plans for solos, duos, or quads. Want one entry point. It's the same spawn they have now. They want to bring dynamic weather, but it's still in the works, so that'll be 2 years. Building 21 is not located in Al Mazrah. Players have to figure out how to access. Major updates to DMZ missions planned for Season 2. If that involves some sort of out-of-raid inventory or something, that will make me want to play it.
True, yeah.
But if it's just a change in missions, I don't care at all.
Exactly. Yeah, I agreed with that.
Next thing here from Charlie Intel. During our call, this is a great one, by the way. Probably the best thing we'll talk about today. During our call with Infinity Ward and Raven last week, the devs didn't appear to know that the ultimate perk was not functioning in Warzone 2 and have said they will fix it. They did not know perks were not working. How on earth do you play the game like with high alert or something and realize, well, I guess, high alert supposedly isn't working.
Do not play their own game.
How are you not realizing these things are working?
There's literally no other explanation than they don't.
There are numerous perks not working. It wasn't just the ultimate perks, right? There were other perks not working.
No, I think all of them were working besides the ultimate perk, because Fast Hands was a bonus perk which worked, and then like Double Time is a basic perk which also worked. And Strong Arm, for example. I think it is just the ultimate perks. But yeah, Activision devs don't play their own game. And like Tanner said, imagine if you use high alert for one game of Warzone, you're already going to notice it wasn't working. Like, you would only have to play one game to notice that.
You will notice the first gunfight you get into.
Yeah, as soon as
but they don't get loadouts. Believe me, I was watching some devs play the other night. They don't even come close to getting a loadout.
That's fair. Yeah. But Activision devs don't play their own game. This is obvious. That's fucking hilarious, by the way. Woefully unsurprising as well. I will give credit to iDub and Raven, though. At least they're calling people who do actually play the game for like a little consultation, which is what this sounded like.
They do these before every update.
This is what we unironically were begging them to do, is get people who actually play the game and talk to them so that you guys know what to do or fix or change. This is the fruit of that labor. So,
and that is supposedly where they don't want to add back plating while sprinting. They have no plans to add it back. Supposedly that was also in the same call.
Yeah.
Which that's an interesting one, by the way, because Metaphor had tweeted out, he heard there's a bunch of, this is before the Season 1 Reloaded, he had heard there's a bunch of quality of life changes coming, and he also heard that plating while sprinting is for sure coming back, but it's not in this update. And then Charlie Intel even responded to Metaphor's tweet, and they were like, no, you got something mixed up. And then like a day later, they tweeted that out saying there's no plans to add it back. So I don't know. Charlie Intel acts like he's always right. He's absolutely not always right either. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, if they said in a call that they don't plan to add back plating while sprinting, I believe Charlie Intel. It's hard,
but they also didn't know perks worked. So they're talking to, who are they talking to? Pat Kelly, Joe C. We don't know who they're talking to. They don't even know what their employees are doing.
That's
so. I mean, they didn't know perks were working.
Yeah,
they don't know what the fuck. I mean, Pat Kelly thinks bullets come out of the barrel of the gun still. You know.
Yeah.
So they don't have a fucking clue what their game does.
I would not hold your
50 years old.
Breath.
They're not playing the game.
I would not hold your breath for plating while sprinting the comeback.
No.
That's, yeah. But anyway.
It really slows down the game. And then the second part of this tweet, they also stated that perks being editable in Warzone 2 is a bug, and it shouldn't be like that. Again, they currently know that you cannot edit perk packages, and that is absolutely intended. That was one of the things people literally thought was a bug. Nope, that was intended. They said more about it somewhere else. So basically they said it provides better balance if people cannot create their own perk setups. Basically, shit players supposedly don't know what perks to run, so they're at a disadvantage. Wow, that's crazy. It's because that's why they're a worse player. They can't figure these things out. But they don't want them to be at a disadvantage, so they want everyone to have to make or use default perk classes. Awesome.
This will never change now, I'm convinced. And this is really, really, really unfortunate and bad.
Really awful for the game, yeah.
One of the most fun things about fucking Warzone 1, which we talked about ad nauseum, is what separated it as a unique and fun BR was loadouts.
Perks and loadouts.
Exactly, yeah. It's picking your gun and your attachments and your camo and having that individuality that other BRs don't have. But a part of that also is, the half of that is perks. What perks do you want to run? Some players would run High Alert and some players would run Ghost. Most people ran Ghost, but you could, if you're really good, run High Alert, and that's actually like better for you depending on your play style. And then some people, you know, on Rebirth would run Quick Fix. Other people would run Flak Jacket or whatever it was called. That's a meaningful, interesting like choice to make that they've removed from the game. Because now perk packages you're not selecting a perk package. You're selecting like one perk you want, and then it's going to come with other shit you don't want or care about. There's not a single perk package where I like more than 2 of the perks.
Yeah.
Not one.
Well, the devs probably think they're making perfect perk setups too. Yeah. They probably think those are all awesome.
Yeah, true, actually. So this is really shit and really, really unfortunate. It removes half of the individuality and fun from Warzone because you can't do that. And now, Tanner, you and I are going to have to really deep dive into perk packages and see what ultimately is best. Because maybe
once everything's working.
Maybe we need to get used to, once ultimate perks work, we need to get used to not using fast hands because maybe there's a way better perk somewhere else or something. I don't know. We have not really done a deep dive into which perk package is best. We've talked about it and we've done like a cursory look or whatever. But I was always under the impression I'll be able to make my own perks soon, so I don't really care to do this. Now that that's not true, we're going to have to do another Warzone brainstorm, really deep diving into perk packages and seeing what's best. Because I don't think it's super obvious, but it might be. It warrants another investigation. But this is really unfortunate. You're taking out so much agency and choice from the player, which is the only thing that makes Warzone a unique or fun BR, is loadouts, which entails your weapons and their setups and your perks and their setups. And the perks are largely gone. This is really dog shit and cringe. And I'm really sad to hear it. Yeah. And it'll never change, by the way. We're on a perk packages forever, so.
I don't know. I think a lot of these things we may see changes to when it comes like to February or something. I don't know. I can see a lot of these changing.
But I don't see perks being editable. Because when you think about it too, why would they add a menu in game that's called perk packages? This was obviously intended from launch. There's no
but I mean, multiplayer has default perk packages.
No, it has default classes. It doesn't have default perk. Oh wait, I guess it does. You're right. Actually, never mind.
Yeah, I think it does in this game.
Yeah, because the dumb system, you don't select perks anymore. You select packages. Okay, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
we'll see.
So last thing here, this is kind of funny. From Charlie Intel, Activision and Caltech are teaming up to build AI to detect and combat online toxic behavior.
Oh, no. I was so excited until I read the last half of that sentence.
Yeah, so I'm not reading it. Basically, they're trying to create something because, you know, the early days of the internet, you relied on moderators, volunteers, or staff, and now it's not the case. So they want everything to be civil, so they're creating an AI. Wouldn't it be crazy, this is my thought, if they teamed up with Caltech people to develop a game and launch a game that worked bug-free, right? That would be insanity. But here's the thing. No one who is smart enough to go to Caltech would ever work for an Activision studio, let alone in video game design. Probably they're much smarter than that, you know. They're doctors.
Have you ever heard the thing where if you score like too high on an IQ test when you're trying to be a cop, they won't hire you because like people that are really smart don't do well as cops? I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that before. Have you?
I can definitely see that. Yeah, we had I know a person through a person, so don't know if this story's true, but supposedly they were turned down by the LA Sheriff's Department, and literally the reason they were given was because they didn't have enough. Their upbringing was basically too perfect. They had like a perfect childhood, a normal home, and they didn't have enough trauma in their life growing up.
Really?
So they don't have like, they haven't gone through hardships or something is what supposedly happened. I don't know if I believe that, but I could certainly see it, tell you that much. So I can see what you're saying, yeah.
Anyway, I
can absolutely see that.
My point is that Activision, if someone who is smart enough to work at Caltech interviewed to be a dev, right? The Activision hiring manager would say, oh, this person, we don't want smart people working here because then they would rightfully lose their minds when we tell them to make changes that make no fucking sense. So we're not hiring you.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're exactly right about that.
Yeah.
I was thinking when you first started reading this tweet, I was like, oh, cool. They're going to build an AI to detect cheaters, Cronus users, and wall hackers.
That'd be fun.
That would be really cool and interesting, and that's a smart thing to do. I'm really glad Activision's taken that step. Oh, no. It's to combat online toxic behavior in games. That is not that big of a problem. I mean, this is cool, I guess. You can use AI to do that. That's fine, but it's not that hard. Hey, if someone says the N-word in fucking text chat, you ban them. I mean, you don't need an AI to do that. It's really not that fucking hard.
Yeah.
So I don't know why AI needs to solve a moderation problem when it's really not that fucking difficult. On the other hand, how many millions of people are Cronus users and wallhack users? There, an AI would actually be super fucking valuable because it could detect wallers and Cronus users where the quote-unquote kernel sniffing, which doesn't sniff kernels, anti-cheat that we have now, which is not kernel level, because if it was, you wouldn't be able to have engine owning and Warzone EXE on the same computer. So it's not, there's no kernel level anti-cheat. So if you're not going to have one of those, why not get an AI to help you combat cheaters? But no, instead, rabid racists who are spamming the N-word, they need Chat GPT to figure out that the guy saying the N-word in chat needs to be banned. It's so dumb. So
I wonder
stupid.
how long those people get banned for. Because I'm not kidding. I report people all the time for shit just because you get the report status back to see if you got someone banned.
Yeah.
I've gotten like 10 of those reports back. So I wonder, like, if someone's just like blatantly saying that shit in chat, how long are they getting banned for? Oh, I report everyone out of spite. Yeah, everyone.
Just spite reports.
I did forget to report those guys that called me a virgin and told me to get a job, though. I should have, because I was getting my 2 kills and then leaving, so I left that lobby 20 seconds later.
Yeah.
Didn't even think about it. But
happen, yeah. The spite
it's like, how long are they banning these people for? If they wanted to crack down, they could literally say, if you're going to type those words in chat, your account is literally getting permabanned, just so you know. You know, the second time, the first time is a harsh warning and you're banned for 7 days. After that, your account's permabanned.
I think that would be fair. Yeah, that's what I
think so too. If they got a warning, for sure.
Because
I mean, if they did it the very first time, 90% of the player,
type the fucking N-word. There's no context. You're not like,
it's weird it even allows it that you can even type it.
Yeah, it's
even
not
without
like we're
parental
doing
controls
a
on. It's odd.
On Huckleberry Finn in fucking match chat. So there's no context in a Call of Duty game where you should be saying that. So yeah, just like if you send it, oops, auto ban 7 days. You get a warning that says, hey, come back in a week. Don't do that again, or we're permaing you next time. That's fair. That's fair.
It's insane that every Warzone lobby you load into, the first thing someone types when you're in the plane is either type 1 if you hate gay people or type 1 if you hate something. And then it's just spammed with ones. Yep. It's like, how is, like, what the hell is going on here, man?
Yeah.
It's actually nuts.
Yeah.
But, so regardless, I think their report system is working pretty well for when you do report people. I think it works very well, actually. It seems like it does.
I don't see that
why don't we just
toxicity.
ban some words?
Yeah. I mean, besides the mass chat thing you just said, yeah.
Oh, I report people for voice chat and everything. I do it all. I report one person every match pretty much, yeah. Just constantly reporting out of spite because I want them to get banned.
Yeah. Just spite reports. Meanwhile, you're doing the same behavior that you're reporting all these people for.
Yeah, surely.
Your KD must be real dog shit.
Yeah, right.
That story was so goddamn funny. Some dad. Anyway. All right, I'm done. This has been long enough. Thanks for watching and listening. Patreon.com/thedropshot. 5 bonus eps a month. We do early access if you're a patron episodes, and ad-free episodes if you're a patron as well. We love, appreciate, and support you guys. We will see you next week. Keep your eye on the Twitter and the Discord and the YouTube for the schedule. Stay humble.
Stay humble.